Where was this same energy last January, where the Janelle Grant lawsuit was exposed, where the Ring Boy lawsuit, where both of them are still going on right now?
This is Group Chat Wrestling News, episode 50. I'm Dan Bloody Dido, back from Mexico. Escaped the Federales, avoided Conan, and yes, the Bandido mask is safe and sound for now. Top story tonight, AEW Grand Slam Mexico slapped harder than a Villano chop. CMLL Tuesdays delivered fire, flips, and more dodgy mustaches than a telenova. And Fantastica Mania this Friday looks like pure 25-pound per-view chaos. But hold on to your tamales, because someone at the tapings caught Bryan Bloody Danielson reappearing like a mystical lucha cryptid, Infinito, and dropping a Busaiku knee that sent shockwaves and probably dental work into the front row. Meanwhile, in Florida retirement home news, Money in the Bank was a Paul Levesque production, which means it peaked at "Please Stop Booking, Fascist Dad." Goldberg, held together by chewing gum and patriotism, is being launched into a feud with Gunther. Expect grunting. Lots of it. In wrestling romance news, Mercedes Moné, meanwhile, is adding both belts and beasts to her collection, now reportedly dating soon-to-be lawyer Frank the Beast Mortos. We're led to believe the Raw sealed the deal. And over in the cinematic universe, Tony Khan's back from Cannes in France, looking like a man who was either buzzing off of 12 Red Bulls, secured a massive deal, hasn't slept in 46 days, or revealed that the Khans now own Netflix. We'll soon find out. And finally, Dax Harwood called out JD from New York, proving once and for all that the only thing shorter than JD is his relevance. Word on the street is that he's already setting up shop at the AEW London Hotel, preparing to buy Dax a beer out of embarrassment. We'll have more on this in the coming weeks. Over to my co-hosts.
Hola, me llamo Lucy. Me encanta Adam Page más que nunca. And I have practiced that for an hour, and it is the best I can do, so I hope it wasn't terrible.
I think I got it. It was, "Hi, my name's Lucy. I love Hangman Page."
More than ever.
More than ever, that was it. Yeah,
Más
okay.
que nunca.
I know some
Yes.
Spanish. Anyway.
A little. I know a little.
Everyone's
So
fucking
maybe I'll do
hypocritical and
Klingon
CM
next
Punk
time. I'm
you.
a bit more...
Oh,
I'm a bit
Triple
more
H.
comfortable in Klingon. I will give you that next week.
Okay, now. Only a fucking week ago, you were fucking anti-Hangman, and now you're all for him. That's like fucking Punk.
Oh no, it's
Fucking
she's back on
Saudi.
she's back on the good team now. She's back on the good team.
Shocking.
I am nothing if not
Wow.
fickle. Bryan Danielson was right about me.
Never told a lie. He never told a lie.
All I have to say
All right.
is that a few weeks ago, Wrestling Mark called Terry Nutkins a cunt and immediately apologised because he realised he was dead. We will not be apologising if any of the Terrys do die this week. Unless it's the chocolate orange fella, because I'd be gutted. He might be dead already, actually.
I
Sorry.
was going to say he's been anyway.
I've not called him a cunt, though.
No, he's not a cunt. He's not a cunt.
No.
He gave back good to the world. You know what I mean?
Not much of a cunt as the other Terry. The racist Terry. Actually, that could be one of two people.
That you have to narrow that down a bit still.
It's like the Spider-Man meme. It's like, which one?
Which one? Yeah.
Which one? Which one? Oh man. And yes, I am that Volbro, and I am. My tank is full of awesome, flippy action between CMLL and AEW from Tuesday night to a possible match of the year candidate in Bandido and Mascara Dorada. If you have not seen it yet, please go out of your way. Pay the $9 on YouTube just to see that event. You will not be disappointed. I cannot wait for Friday night. That card is stacked from top to bottom.
It really is.
And you talk about we'll get into it later, but just the stark difference between, respecting Lucha Libre traditions and just the overall presentation from the Worlds Collide show to Grand Slam Mexico. And it's like, it's night and day in my opinion, but what a time to be an AEW fan. Top two Dynamites in my opinion last night. It's top two. It's a coin toss from the Spring Breakthrough show in Boston where they surpassed WCW Monday Nitro. That's how fucking good it was, but we'll get more into that. But oh man, as I don't know if did any of you guys see, someone had a T-shirt or a flag with Tony Khan.
I saw
I think
that.
it was like the Jesus silhouette, like, and somebody asked, I forgot, I think it was Rocky Romero asking, can somebody please make that a shirt? I know somebody has already made that a
Fuck
T-shirt.
yeah. If they make that a shirt, man, the cry arson's going to be incredible.
Oh, they're all crying.
They get fucking.
Oh,
they
good.
start crying when he says he's got an announcement. In fact, they start crying when he just says hello.
I'm sure there was quite a few of them when he did like the 5 series of live videos. They were all about 3 minutes each, and he was basically saying the same thing. He was just really happy. He was just on a boat in France, just telling everyone how excited he was. And I made the point where he usually does this. Well, he's just very chill. I mean, the thing is, we've talked about this a lot about how I should hate him because he's a billionaire, and considering how much inequality and injustice there is in the world, I should hate everything that he stands for. But when the way he talks to you and like the way he is with just fans and like his compadres, he's just very likable.
It's crazy.
It's hard.
It's a brain breaker. It really is. I should fucking despise the man, but like he just comes across as a geek who's like just a very happy, nice fella, and it's a fucking. He's a weird one.
He's a geek. He's a nerd. But guess what? So are 99% of wrestling fans out there. I mean, I've lost like. I go live, like do so many live sessions on TikTok with all the other wrestling content creators and podcast hosts. Like we'll go from talking wrestling 1 minute, then we'll talk about like anime or Marvel comics or cinematic universes, stuff like that. Dude, like all of us, majority of us wrestling fans, we have the same interests outside of wrestling, whether it's Star Wars, comics, Marvel, video games, anything like that. Like, so a lot of fans may not like to hear this, but Tony Khan we are more alike to Tony Khan than we are to like a Triple H or a Vince McMahon in the past. Like, because, you call him a nerd and geek. Well, yeah, he is, but so the fuck are you. I mean, so the fuck are all of us.
Excuse me, I am not. I am cool. I may do an intro in Klingon one day. That does not make me a geek. I'm not being associated with you nerds. I don't even like wrestling. I'm only in it for the fashion.
It's funny because you mentioned video games there. I've actually been playing the new WWE game this week. I got fucking hooked on it, honestly. It's class. It's called Crime Scene Cleaner. You basically go into crime scenes, get rid of all the dead bodies and clean up and basically cover everything up and make sure nobody knows what's going on. It's fucking incredible.
It's very addictive, isn't it?
Oh, fucking too right, yeah. I reckon some people in that fucking company be a master at that game. 1,000 achievements in 5 seconds.
I have been, yeah.
They've maxed
I have
it
been
out
gaming
already.
a little bit this week. I've been playing The Sims, so beware if you misbehave.
You didn't burn one sim didn't burn the other sim's house down, did he? Or break into the other one's house and threaten their child?
Probably did. Now she's fucking pretty.
Now she's team. Now Lucy's team Hangman. You can kind of see the injustice on the one
come
side.
on, in fact, you know what? I have worn this long enough. It's hot. It is.
I was going to say,
fucking Brandon's out the window now as well.
Yeah,
Hangman's
I was going to say
the spotlight just for today.
It's the Toy Story meme. If you watch Toy Story 2, remember that dream that Woody has?
Don't want to play with you anymore.
He was like I don't want to play like that. That's
oh goodness, that's
Brandon.
Brandon.
Color is
Brandon
the
is Woody.
Yes.
There's not a heat wave. There's not a heat wave in the UK at the moment at all. Like it's all a lie. Lucy's just blatantly outed herself.
You know what? Fun. Screw you guys. You get to look at the jacket for the whole episode.
There's only one person who's in that meme, and it's Joe Hendry. But now that the lizard fella's there. But anyway, yeah. Did you hear Conan with his fucking bullshit saying? Oh,
no.
I was speaking to fucking. Hey, no, he probably went, "Yo, dog." I was speaking to Nick Khan, and I said, "Man, that show was a slam dunk." And Nick Khan said, "Hey, K-Dog, no, it was a grand slam." Conan, it didn't. It didn't happen. You're lying. I guarantee you, Nick Khan did not say that. What a fucking cunt he is, man. Like, yeah. I guarantee you, Nick Khan did not say them words to Conan. He's just a fucking bellend.
He really, really is. I think he's about as useful as a chocolate teapot.
I'm still not entirely sure who Conan. I wouldn't know him if I hit him with my car. I wouldn't know who he was.
That's
I'm
I
getting.
mean, that's a good idea. I mean, if you're offering,
Well,
you like driving, so
all these people that were shade on the podcast, and I'm just like, yeah, they're terrible. Could be any fucker.
I was gonna say like Conan, like he's as useful to WWE as a comb is in mine, Dan, or Andy's hands. You know, like
I can comb my beard quite well. I think it's
beard,
useful
yeah,
here.
but it's only all right. So
I've got loads
yeah,
of
it
hair.
only
Don't
does
worry
happen,
about.
Dan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're just wearing a skull cap?
No, it's like it's all at the back. I'm not going to turn around much though.
Gotcha.
Wait,
So
before we get into like more bald puns, I'm sure there'll be some like throughout the episode. Let's talk a little bit about Grand Slam and how good it was, because first things for for those who haven't seen it, obviously this isn't a spoiler, but this is something that I think needs to be said. Can we give a shout out to Brody fucking King for a second?
He's a fucking legend, isn't he?
I fucking have so much time for that fella, and his band's fucking sick.
Do you know what the funny thing is that from no matter what AEW could have done, they would not have got the kind of publicity Brody King has got them by wearing that shirt. The fucking Daily Mail are talking about it today.
Mm-hmm.
Daily Mail, TMZ.
The worst
I'm not sure
the worst types of publications.
I think I'm not sure Fox News. I got to double check on that. But so just a quick background. I don't know if you guys like heard over in England, but over the weekend, I want to say it was Friday, Saturday, there was a wide protest across the country, like the No Kings protest. And I love how we get to Wednesday. Like, well done by everyone who showed up. Well, I love how we get to Wednesday night and Brody comes out in that Abolish ICE T-shirt, and yeah, it's No Kings. But Brody's that one exception.
Brody is the
Like
king.
one king.
Brody is that
Some kings.
some.
It's like the Tony Khan thing. Like,
two.
we'll eat him last.
When
Yeah,
when you mention this T-shirt, Brett, can you just please put a bit of a space between Ice and T-shirt, because I fucking nearly fell off my chair then. I fucking like Ice T. It's not wrong with him. He's fucking great.
He had a T-shirt
He's
on.
a big gamer as well.
Abolish ICE.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah, that's better.
And it's like the dude already had aura out that's unmeasurable. That's like limits that we can't even begin to describe. When I saw that Abolish ICE on his T-shirt,
great, isn't it?
and looking at, of course, where he is, and then and then in the middle of the match, as if that wasn't great, he pulled out a fucking Hurricane Rana.
Oh, it's incredible.
He
Rana
pulled out a
was
fucking
incredible.
Hurricane Rana. Are you kidding me?
It's insane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And just the visual of him on the stage in Arena Mexico with the Stone Island jacket, the balaclava, the T-shirt, and the music, it made me think like he is everything that I want to be in this world.
That is the best any man has ever looked. Ever. I mean, I'm a happily married woman, but I was ready to throw it all away for Brody King last night because, my God, what a fucking
but
man.
So you quickly forgot about Hangman when you saw Brody King just for a
you are
second.
worse
This
than
is-
CM Punk.
Way worse. Punk wishes.
But you
Triple
know,
H
my
hasn't
level.
he hasn't called me yet about appearing in Saudi Arabia, but I'll let you all know just if it happens. By the way, so
Give
he's
us a
taking
rating,
it. He's
Phil.
taking it down to the deadline. He's waiting till the very last minute
Yeah.
till he knows that, so he could try to pull up. But real quick though, like besides like the action in the ring, my favorite part of last night was a lot of the outfits, like the special fits that they had, like Bandito's outfit was fucking amazing. Like his fit was amazing. Of course, Brody coming out in like I said, his usual outfit plus the Abolish ICE T-shirt as well. But let's start how the show started with Hangman coming out. Listen, I thought it was impossible to love Hangman more than I already do right now, than a lot of us already do right now. And here's the thing, like him speaking Spanish, like I talked about it on the post show I did last night with Abe from the Holy Shit podcast. It didn't sound like he was reading from a script. It didn't sound like he was memorizing lines. He had good cadence. He had perfect pronunciation, in my opinion. And I can't remember the entire translation off the top of my head, but he was thanking the CMLL crowd and audience for welcoming himself and AEW into their arena, into their country and everything. And basically the last part he says he's banned from the main event, but that doesn't include after the match. But my God, like he is the legitimate fucking man of the people right there.
He's the voice of the voiceless.
Hangman is worldwide loved. He is universally loved, universally praised, and rightfully so, because he's a wrestler like, I don't think he's playing a character. He's not playing like a gimmick or anything. I think this is Adam Page that we're seeing right here, week in and week out. And you know what? Forget the CM Punk nonsense or whatever. He's irrelevant. He's irrelevant in this discussion. Like, this is the guy that we have loved since day one, since this company has started, even before this company has started. I mean, this
100%.
is, and after last night, like, if there was any doubt in anyone's mind on who should take that belt off of Jon Moxley, that discussion, that argument in your head needs to stop right now. It's Hangman. There is no other way. There is no other way to end All in Texas on July 12th. It's Hangman. You're seeing the story develop right in front of your eyes. You saw it last week with that backstage segment with Hangman, the Bucks, and Swerve overhearing everything. So they're already planting the seeds right there. We'll see what happens next week. Because here was the theme about Grand Slam last night. It was all wrestling. The only
no segments was there. There was apart from the Hangman promo. There was
the Hangman
only...
promo
and the Tony Storm video.
Yeah, the 2 minute bit, and then that was it. It was 90% wrestling, and it was fucking amazing. Yeah,
it really was. And I don't know if obviously you touched on the CMLL event like the night before. Obviously this is the first time that I'd actually paid for like the CMLL like YouTube subscription, and yeah, of course it's in Spanish, so to me it's going to feel a little bit like unusual after watching AEW and like, you know, the indies and everything like that. But you quickly forget about it, and like context is everything, and you just kind of get lost in the action. And the way that like CMLL like present like their shows is it's noticeably different to how AEW do it. There's like a few more sort of like, I guess you could say there's a bit more depth to like AEW because it's more of like a mainstream television production. Like CMLL, everything's very much in-house. But I thought it was tremendous. Like you said about Bandido, Dorada, like Atlantis Jr. and Josh Alexander had a really good match. You know, again, you know, lots of people have been talking about Atlantis getting booed out of the building, which is quite bizarre. So for those that aren't aware, basically he's a lifer of CMLL because of his dad, and he's almost like the equivalent to like a Roman Reigns or a John Cena, like over there. So naturally, a lot of the smart fans don't really, you know, they boo in protest, even though there's actually like plenty to like about like him as a wrestler. But even like Josh Alexander, who I can't recall him being in Arena Mexico, he was getting cheered like, you know, leaps and bounds ahead, which must have been pretty awesome to see. But another one, Hologram and Neon had a fucking banger as well.
Yes.
And yeah, just it's crazy. Like, you know, the sheer amount of talent in that ring was great, but also just the fact that at Grand Slam, Mystico like was such a big deal. All of the CMLL stars were a big deal, but Mystico especially with that entrance that he made. I've rewatched that like quite a few times today. It was absolutely insane. Like the match he had with MJF was so much fun. Wouldn't you all agree?
MJF doing his usual tricks. Did you hear what happened after the show at the hotel?
Wrestling is back, baby.
A fan went
Wrestling
after
is back.
MJF. They were so angry that he was
at his hotel. They went to
his hotel. He was so disrespectful, such a complete dickhead. And MJF was absolutely fine, and apparently was happy about this because it just shows that when you really commit and when you... I thought Mystico was winning until the match started, and then I was sure MJF was going to win. I did not see him hitting that DQ, the sort of, screw you, I'm going to be disrespectful, you're not getting a real ending here, and then the mask and everything. And
that's one thing I have. Why the hell wasn't he disqualified after removing the mask?
Oh god!
They said on commentary that was the rule in CMLL, that this match was AEW rules.
Oh really? Oh okay.
I think so, yeah. Because I was saying, like, if they take the mask off, is that and I think they said this is conducted under AEW
hold on real
rules.
quick. I know where Dan was going with that question, and I don't know if you guys saw the discourse on Twitter. So it's
that old grifting referee who basically didn't watch it and who basically said, well, why wasn't there a disqualification after Mystico's mask was removed? Because MJF was already disqualified.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, I hate that cunt.
He's such
Yeah,
a...
also, it's an AEW show, not a. It was AEW.
Exactly. It's contested under AEW rules where even if he did remove the mask, it wouldn't have been a disqualification anyway.
No, but yeah, the match was over. What are they going to do? Restart it to DQ him again? No,
Exactly.
bad boy.
Oh my god, I fucking hate that guy so
let
much.
me
I don't know
ask
who
you
we're talking
guys.
about, but I'm sure he's terrible.
So let me ask you guys this: like with the disqualification, like Mystico technically the winner. How do we feel about them running it back at All In with a stipulation?
Well,
Are
as in
we
like
talking mask versus hair here?
I'd seen someone
Ooh,
say it should be mask versus hair plugs, which is fair, you know.
Ooh.
mask versus fake tan? How about that?
They should
my
run it back at All
God.
In though, because MJF needs a match at All In. He can't just be. I don't think he can just be the Hurt Syndicate stooge. I mean, it's fucking MJF for God's sake.
It does feel like they're running out of time to do any kind of breakup angle now to culminate in a match between like him and Lashley, or him getting FTR in his ranks to then challenge the Hurt Syndicate and so on. And plus, they're all heels at the moment, and they're really quite gelling quite well as a unit. I kind of want to see where this goes. So I think if MJF's going to have a match at All In, I'm more than happy for it to be like a match against like Mystico or someone else from like CMLL or CM maybe.
Do we have any sort of high-flying lucha style match on the card yet?
No. The only cards are the two title matches and Kenny and Okada at the moment. But I think like this week we'll start to see some more announced.
Yeah, they'll be adding them soon.
I think we're getting the Hurt
definitely, throw it
Syndicate. We're getting the Hurt Syndicate versus Jet Speed because that seems to be the direction. Which is that seems fair to me. I think that'd be a good match.
Yeah.
But MJF needs something, and I think if they're going to go down this route where it's in Texas, so there's a natural sort of connection there for a lot of like luchadors. Like they perform in Texas, and they performed across like a lot of the Texas shows that they've had. I think doing like a 2 out of 3 falls, like a traditional like Lucha Libre a grudge match. They usually settle them in 2 out of 3 falls matches.
That is if there isn't some sort of battle royal or number one contender like scramble or something. In which case, I might put MJF in that. But yeah, absolutely.
I think just because of MJF's character and who he is, I don't think it would make maybe like kayfabe sense to put him in that match. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'd rather
He'd find a way around it. He's the kind of
Yeah.
person who would try and find a way around it.
He could have the match with Mystico earlier in the night, and let's say Casino Battle Royal later on, kind of like what Christian Cage did at All In. Like he could come back, he could lose and then come back and still leave Texas as a winner per se. Like
As long as they
I
don't
wouldn't
have
mind
like any kind of cash-in like briefcase thing, I fuck it. As long as it's just a guaranteed title match on like a pay-per-view or like a set day, then I'm fine with that. But if MJF's going to be carrying around a briefcase like for like the next 6 months to a year, it's just going to be a rehash of what they did with Christian.
Well, he did it with a poker chip, wasn't he? He was spooning that chip quite a lot. I like that angle.
I don't mind it if it's for a match, but a cash in, no fucking cash in, please. No.
You don't like it.
The shit.
I say pay attention
awful.
to this though.
All right, Andy, let me ask you. You can eliminate one from wrestling forever, either cash-ins or face versus face.
Cash-ins, because you can at least put some. If you put some kind of effort into it, you can make a reason to why face versus face will work. Like MJF against Adam Cole and all, and that actually worked because there was a story around it.
Have you seen people talking about saying that was a week?
I don't get
card?
it.
Hangman versus Ospreay.
What was
Literally.
Yeah, well,
just last week.
But the all in the main event, the Adam Cole MJF, that was genuinely, I think that's one of the best instances of in-ring storytelling I've ever seen, because the whole match was geared around like will he, won't he on MJF, and halfway through the match we started thinking, hang on, is Adam Cole's gonna fucking turn here? And then the whole end with MJF just fucking go for it and standing there going, go on, this is all you wanted, and it was like we were with MJF at that point completely. Like that was the point when MJF had he was at the top of the fucking face, like whatever. It was just fucking insane. And like that was such a good match.
I was third row for that, and it is still the coolest thing I have ever been a part of. That or Bryan Danielson winning the next year. And every single person, 80,000 people, screamed their heads off when they hugged. I will not have revisionist history saying that wasn't one of the best things.
It was a great card overall anyway. It was
fun.
People like to
the Anarchy match was incredible.
People like
Stadium Stampede.
People like to slag them off, but that was great. The Jericho Ospreay was fucking brilliant. I don't care what anyone says. It was brilliant.
Yes, thank you.
The Swerve was it? It was Sting.
Swerve and Christian versus Darby and
Yeah.
Sting in a coffin match.
That was
The
fucking
coffin
great.
match.
That was excellent.
That was so much fun.
Like, people
honestly, when Sting and Darby came out to Seek and Destroy, I lost
I
my
know,
mind.
I did. I shit me.
Well,
I lost me shit then completely.
Listen.
I am a huge fan of that song, and yeah, I was just like, I was like,
Yeah.
you know, those excited toddlers that start vibrating when
Yeah,
they
yeah.
sort
You
of
ever, like, just hear
try
mu-
ice cream for the first time. That was
You ever
me.
just say like hear music that just brings you back to like your childhood? Like,
Oh, yeah.
When my father used to like take me to school like in the old station wagon, like we used to hear if you any New Yorkers hear like 92.3 K Rock and like Metallica came on like when the first it's like revisionist like when you go back to hearing Seek and Destroy for the first time and like in a way that's like 80,000. I've never been in an arena that big. Like not even for football games here, so it was fucking insane. Like just hearing like 80,000 people singing "Seek and Destroy" was just
Crazy,
insane.
wasn't
Like
it?
just for the entrances alone was. I mean, even this Swerve's entrance. I mean, 80,000 people chanting "Whose house?" Swerve's house. Like it was fucking. dope. I mean,
MJF's entrance was unreal as well. The whole throne
when he
carries
came
him
out
in
with the
devil
throne,
mask.
yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
Like people, like you can knock the build. The build was dog shit. No one can argue that. The build
Yeah.
was shite, but you cannot knock that fucking card. It was excellent.
The main event build was good.
It was.
Can't
It was.
complain about, like, the,
It was
yeah.
built on the main event. Really, wasn't
The
it?
main event was the only good build on that card.
But that-
Everything
but
else
that-
was thrown together within a few weeks, but
But
like
that shows
it
that
was all
shows
new.
a lot. Yeah, it was a gamble. Like
Yeah.
you know, but
God,
the fa-
did it fucking
that-
pay off.
Exactly, but that shows exactly how good the story was because obviously that was the main story building up to All In.
And they were doing the tag title match earlier on
Yeah,
in the night as
in
well.
the 0 hour.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
nothing else happened
Um,
on 0 hour. I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing else happened.
I can't even
remember.
No, I
What?
genuinely can't. Why? What,
I think the first match was the
Real
trios
glass?
match. No, it was the trios match.
There was
I
no
think
real
it
glass
was.
on 0 hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No, nothing. Anyway,
Was that not the-
but no.
Oh God, it wasn't it?
That was
Fuck, I
0
forgot it
hour.
was- I forgot
You
it was
know,
that
I-
year.
Your
I was,
Yeah.
you know, I was
that was
distracted. I was distracted during that 0
peri-cured
hour.
cancer.
I
Yeah,
I was
you were
just
distracted.
distracted. I was just
Yeah.
distracted. Like I heard like this loud glass shattering noise, and I'm like, where the hell did that come from?
The-
Like,
the-
is there a car
thing is, like,
accident
who-
in the middle
who-
of a wrestling show?
Yeah.
Who was that cunt referring to when he called someone an empty-headed dumb fuck? Because that clearly wasn't the fella who was speaking fluent Spanish yesterday to an entire fucking stadium.
Nope.
No idea.
That was the year that I, wearing this, had a sign that said Pepsi is a soft drink. And I actually put it down at one point because I was like, this feels like bullying. When Joe was flinging Punk across the barricade, I was like, God, I can't.
Here's a fun little tidbit for you as well. So we're talking about like funny moments. So if you want to go back and watch it during the Stadium Stampede match, if you go and watch the bit when Claudio and Eddie are fighting in the stands, you can see me in my Adam Cole shirt, like filming them. So go honestly, anybody watching this, go back and watch, and you could see me in an Adam Cole old school Bullet Club sort of inspired shirt. Me just sat there with my phone, which I've still got, and just living my best life, watching Claudio and Eddie beat the shit out of each other.
They walked right past us, the Death Riders, for the entrance. Like, my husband was on the end of the third row from Brit, and they walked right. He actually sort of patted Claudio, but he was sort of shrinking back because he was dressed like Orange Cassidy. And Anthony, my husband, looks. He's exactly the same hair
Yeah,
color
you
and
said,
everything
yeah,
as Orange Cassidy. He was like, "Shit, I'm just gonna hide in case," because Orange was on the opposing team. But yeah, he patted Claudio on the shoulder and then had to have a sit down. He was a bit overwhelmed.
It's a
by
shame.
Claudio.
It's a shame he didn't get a nudge because he would have been able to sue AEW for a silly amount of money
Flung
for a
himself
nudge,
on
you
the
know.
floor.
I forgot that happened this week. That
Yeah.
was a bit of a mad story.
The guy
wasn't it?
who had the screwdriver apparently didn't know he was going to get this little nudge. And look, let's be honest, it's a fucking nudge. It's not a proper push. And apparently now he's had, what is it, like 25 grand's worth of damages? Or that's what he's seeking.
I mean,
And he
if
tried to get a job,
so-
didn't he, with AEW and kept it
I was
quiet
gonna
for
say,
2
yeah.
years and then
that
decided
was it
actually...
after
yeah.
that happened.
Okay. I thought he was already working for them for a long
No,
time after.
he was like an outside contractor or
so
something.
contractor,
And that
okay.
happened.
He
and
was
then
an
tried to get
employee
a job.
of the Little Caesars Arena, if
Got
I
you,
read
got you,
correctly.
got you.
Yes.
Yeah. If it happened that Mox pushed him and he wasn't supposed to, pay the man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joe,
just play
I'm-
it, yeah.
It's like
But-
the amount of money involved. I'm surprised they haven't just fucking settled already. It's crazy. Like he must have. Like I'd love to know if
That's
they've
why I'm
actually.
wondering.
Yeah,
The thing is, as well, like AEW is handling this lawsuit clearly, like Brett said, it is just going to be like you said earlier in the week. You said they're just going to pay up, and that's going to be the end of it, which is fine. You know, if Moxley wasn't supposed to touch him, then fair enough, just pay the man the money. But it's not. It's just kind of showing that AEW doesn't really. You know, well, it handles lawsuits quite well, because if you've seen like the other lawsuits that they've been dealt with, like the one from Ryan fucking Nemeth and Kevin Kelly and the Tate twins,
That was crazy.
they've all been moved to arbitration now.
They're all
They've all
joke
been moved to
lawsuits,
It
arbitration.
looks like it was written
Yeah, I
by
know.
AI.
Yeah.
A lawyer does
clearly
not
they're not real. They're not real. They can't be real.
The Nemeth one especially it's a piss take. Like it's not even attempted to be real. It looks like he's tried to be funny doing it, like because he thinks he's a comedian, doesn't he? And it looks like he's tried to look at this. I'm going to make people laugh, and it's just like that's fucking cringe level. Fucking
Yeah, and
mate.
I like the Nemeths. I think, I'm maybe one of the few that did think Ryan Nemeth was funny, but yeah, it looks like he's just. I don't know. There's no way a lawyer signed off on that.
I watched some
Or
of
if
his.
they did,
It's not real. It's not real. It can't be real. No
I don't.
lawyer, no law firm would sign that off.
I genuinely think he thought he was just going to be a bit of a joke and a laugh.
Yeah, maybe.
Because you cannot. I just don't see any world in which you can seriously think that would do anything. Because like the amount of like snide little digs he has during it, and like let me call him the he didn't go after him because he's a big fan. And, it's like fuck off, man.
Can't put
So
speculation in. No, I agree. I think it was a bit that got out.
Yeah, I do. Because that's just gone quiet now, hasn't it, as well?
Yeah, well, they moved it to arbitration now, which means they're going to settle, or they're just going to just come to a conclusion, like out of the courts and everything. So
It's just funny that I love like seeing the IWC's like reaction to the Moxley lawsuit, like the energy that a lot of these fans have for this lawsuit. But the same, what's funny? I pay attention, and it's a lot of the bigger accounts who are like, have all this energy for this lawsuit. Like, I'm just curious, where was this same energy last
now you
January,
read fucking lawsuit.
where the Janelle Grant lawsuit was exposed, where the Ring Boy lawsuit was going on, which both of them are still going on right now. But whatever, it's nothing. Lawsuits that have had real ramifications that have affected people's livelihoods over decades. But a push.
it's a serious
and
offense.
it's like
serious crime.
Yep,
Tony
serious
should pay.
Tony should pay. Yeah. Not the former grapist owner of
Get run
WWE,
over with
but
a golf cart at WrestleMania. Do you
I
remember
know,
that?
yeah.
Somebody was grabbing like
Steve Austin. He looked like he had about 10 beers.
bits again from Sammy Guevara, but yeah, somebody got run over by a.
It was Steve Austin, wasn't it? He was off his tits.
I've had Leon Slater land on me in a crowd before. Didn't Mercedes jump into some guy's arms or something?
Yeah.
Like escape, and he's just there going, shit.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a
What
thing.
do I do with her
She'd be
now?
claiming damages off him.
Well, with her creative control, she can then,
obviously.
evidently she has creative control. So
I love how she used
She's
that in
walking into my
Mexico.
house right now. And be
she
like, I
has
own this house.
creative control over 6 fucking promotions. She has. This is a bit right
Apparently.
here. 6 fucking promotions.
6.
Mercedes Moné has creative fucking
In
control.
4
Whoever
countries.
believes that,
5
whoever
countries.
is saying that
Australia.
out loud, you are fucking mental. Like, what the fuck is wrong
over
with
3
you?
continents,
3
she has creative
fucking
control.
continents.
So
6
England,
promotions. Like, what
America,
the
Mexico,
fuck, man?
Japan, and was it Austria? She won the title.
yeah.
Austria. And shout out to Maya World on Twitter, who said it perfectly. For everyone saying, "Oh, what about everyone else?" For everyone who's complaining about whoever complained about her winning the RevPro title, name me. Now, this is for those who are just like bitching and moaning about Mercedes. Name 3 other women right now off the top of your head who should win, who should have the title instead of Mercedes.
Lizzie Evo, but that's about it.
You are actually
3
fan who
times.
watch the product. The people bitching,
Yeah.
moaning, and complaining. With all due respect, they don't know shit about RevPro. They don't know shit about
No,
New
they
Japan
don't.
Strong.
It's-
They don't
I know
know
what you're
shit
saying,
about
yeah.
CMLL.
If they knew
Like,
shit about RevPro, they wouldn't be accusing RevPro of letting talent from another company book their creative, because RevPro don't do that. They do not kiss ass.
it's the most mind-numbing, like like as far as like hatred that wrestlers get, like Mercedes Moné, the hatred she gets is so mind-numbingly
It's
fucking
crazy.
stupid.
It is
It's
insane.
like,
And she's
I've never
so
seen anything
good.
like it. I really haven't. It's insane.
6 promotions. She has creative control over. You guys sound fucking stupid.
It's crazy because
stupid.
they have a serious issue with her not having been beaten for so long. They didn't have any issue with Roman Reigns not being beaten for 27 years. They were fine with that. That was absolutely fucking
Hologram
normal.
has the longest active streak.
4
Where's the
fucking
outrage?
years Roman Reigns held that damn belt. 4 fucking years.
And he doesn't have
Mercedes,
creative
the past
control.
year hasn't gotten an inch of that.
The thing is, as well, is the match he had with Zeuxis last night, it was very one-sided. Zeuxis was basically dominating the match. She got a fluke win and won the title.
Yeah.
If you have creative
Mercedes-
control, you don't do that.
Oh, God, no. Mercedes often wrestles like that. She'll get beaten up and she's just clever. You know, Mercedes wins 'cause
She's
she's
so
smart.
good, man. She's so good.
Yeah. But if she had creative control, yeah, you're right. She'd have gone in there and just absolutely twatted her, but she didn't.
Yeah. If the only person who I know who's had creative control in any aspect of their contract is someone called Terry, who may or may not be on his deathbed. But that match that Mercedes had didn't resemble anything like what fucking Terry's matches had.
No,
Didn't
and she
resemble
ran
anything
away
like
at the
that.
end. She looked scared and weak running from Tony.
Well, everybody said that she doesn't have creative control. This all came from a fucking interview she did in character, where they said like, "Oh, and she goes, I have control over everything," essentially, something like that. Like,
her character,
create control
absolutely.
over a fucking character and stuff,
CEO.
not over whether she's going to fucking win a match or not. But like, so many people in AEW have control over the character. Like that's what happens when you're not in a fucking
That's the whole
fed
point.
system. Like that's it. Yeah, you create the character yourself. That's why it feels more authentic most of the time, because they are the character.
The character of the CEO absolutely controls everything around. And, you know, the CEO could say, "No, I'm not having that match. Yes, I'll have that one. I'm the boss." But not fucking really.
Do you think fucking Hangman has control over his character? Do you think fucking, like John Moxley does that? They all do. The only ones who don't are probably the lower ones, and it's more probably advice and around how they should package themselves. The ones who've
Isn't
had
that how they do it? Officially, like they come up with ideas, but it all goes through Tony Khan.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of like their long-standing character and stuff, that's things that these guys have created and honed in for years. Like it's not something like it's not
Sometimes
like
on the indies. Yeah.
It's like the Fed where they just go, right, okay,
It's
now
like
your name is Blake Monroe and you're going to do a shit version of Tony Storm. That's not what happens. Which is what's happening,
the bar's quite low, because the same person who named Mariah May that was probably the same person who came up with a Nazi general for Walter initially.
Yeah.
Fucking
So-
Google.
Do they-
Lexus fucking king.
Do they? Yeah.
In Florida,
Well,
do
they've
they
never
not
used
realize
Google
that?
at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, in the Performance Center in Florida, do they not realize that Google is a free search engine, that they could have typed Blake Monroe in and they could have realized, oh shit, there's another blonde who's named Blake Monroe, but she's of the adult entertainment variety.
Probably got
Like
some fucking franchised sister Google knockoff with a big W on it that they use, and
probably
They
don't
call
give
it
a fuck.
Woogle or something.
they probably just bring Vince. Have you seen that they're saying a lot of people saying he will be involved in combat sport and
I've
wrestling
seen
again?
that. Fucking, it's grim, and the amount of wrestlers who will
Only for
back him.
putting him on a fucking pole and letting people take a swing.
But they
You just know that people will go back. You just know
100%.
that they will.
there are people in WWE right now, current wrestlers, that if Vince were to start his own promotion, I guarantee you they would immediately
leave in a
ask for their
heartbeat.
reason.
There is.
I could rattle off a couple of names right now since Triple H has taken over. Their booking or presentation has fallen off a fucking cliff. Austin Theory, Omos, guys like that. Because whether you like them or not, Vince pushed Theory and Omos to the moon, whether you like them or not. But guess what?
No.
Triple H took over, non-existent. They are barely off TV. Like Omos just re-signed a new contract. Cool.
That's crazy.
They haven't done shit. They brought him back in January from Noah. From all accounts that I've heard, he was doing great over there. He was well liked over there. He was getting, you know where he fucked up at, guys? He got over on his own. You look at the history in WWE when wrestlers, Zack Ryder, Rusev Day, when wrestlers get over on their own, WWE is like, no, we need to you need to get off of your high horse. Like, who the fuck you think you are getting popular on your own, getting over on yourself? We are the machine. You get over when we say you get over.
That actually,
some things change and some things remain the same.
Well, that happened as far back as as far back as wrestling goes, really. But Christian was the one that really wrecked my head. He was over as fuck, and Vince just did not want to know. He was like, "No, I've made my decision. I'm pushing this guy, and you can get the fuck." Christian was so fucking over when he was doing his peeps thing. Captain Charisma.
That was a bit when I sort of stopped watching, is because he was one of my favorites. Great, he still is one of my all-time favorites. And when he was with Tom Coe, and then he was doing like his breakout singles run. Like, he and Edge were like on the same brand, but like they were separate, like, you know, from each other. They weren't like tagging together or anything. He was. You know, I think that's the time when he would have been a perfect like WWE champion. Even if he held it for like just like a couple of months or whatever, that would have made him. That would have made his career. But then, fair play to the guy. He said, I know my ceiling. I'm going to take my chances in TNA. And then, by extension, I found out about TNA because of Christian.
I was watching TNA at the time. I'd given up on WWE already at that point, and I didn't go back for a while. I was watching TNA when he rocked up, and I was like,
yeah.
Holy shit! It was the TNA then was just.
It was.
Well, so you had his debut, you had Sting's debut, and you had Kurt Angle's debut, all in the space of like a few months.
It's
So,
crazy.
yeah,
It's crazy that TNA arguably got Christian Cage and Kurt Angle's best fucking years. It's fucking nuts.
Oh, maybe
I don't know,
Angles, yes.
Like, yeah, for Christian now.
Oh, I mean,
Christian.
I'd say
I think
in ring that was Christian's peak.
Oh, in ring, yeah.
Oh, in ring.
But he's obviously he's changed how he wrestles over the years. The man's a fucking genius. He really is.
He's genius.
I was 100% pro Christian over Edge. I found Edge very boring when they were trying to shove him down our throats as the kind of good guy face. You know, when they broke up. For me, it was Christian. Christian was the guy that stood out. He had charisma, fucking bucket loads. He was. You know, when he'd do his little fucking. They lie on the floor, pointing the camera and, you know, call out to his peeps. It was just fucking gold. He was. He is. He's fucking excellent. Get him back on the TV now every fucking week.
MJF is going to grow up to be Christian Cage. Basically. Like, that's what all the, you know, the charismatic bad guys, now they dream of growing up to be Christian Cage.
I came back to
it was
WWE
Father's Day
in
quite
2011.
recently, and I wished him happy Father's Day.
As you should. But, you know, I was going to say, like, I came back to WWE in 2011, and him and Randy Orton, that was the feud of the year. Like, that you just said, like, if they gave Christian the belt for a little bit, like, they had a great 3 to 4 month program. Like, I remember Money in the Bank, you know, that year, we always talk about John Cena and, you know, the Pepsi guy. But I don't care. Christian stole the show. Like, there was a stipulation where if Randy got disqualified, Christian would win the title. Christian, right in Randy's face, spit right in like the most disgusting shit you've ever seen, and it worked. He got low blowed and he won the title right there. They had a great hardcore match at SummerSlam. The following month, it was fucking great. That might be the most like time U.S. wrestling was like generally interested in Randy Orton, but it was because of Christian Cage, because it was one like the peeps. Christian Cage was good, but that year we got one more match, Christian. One more match.
I remember.
Yes, it was.
I came in watching then. I hadn't watched for a long time. I was an ECW girl. Then I was British Indies have always on my heart. But I started watching almost with Bryan Danielson. And then when he finished, I stopped watching. Actually, can we talk a bit about Bryan Danielson?
Such a good segue. You it's almost like that was planned.
I didn't mean to, actually. I'm learning. Learning from Dan, I can segue into anything. Can we talk a little bit about that? Like, I have seen that video. He landed on his back, on his neck. Surely he would not have done that without being given the okay. I know it's Bryan Danielson. I know he's a bad boy sometimes. He does things he shouldn't do. He lies about injuries. He's admitted that. But
I don't think he
give
was
me
ever.
this. Give me this.
I don't think he was ever not cleared. I think he can come back whenever he wants. I think they're just waiting for the right time. He's a lying fuck. He learns from the master politician and the old Bullet Club fucking legend. And I don't think there's ever been a serious issue. Maybe he's had niggles and stuff, but I don't think there's ever been a real long-term reason as to why he can't come back. I think they're just waiting for the right time. And when he comes back, I think his idea of part-time will be. It won't be much different from most other people's full time. You know,
he'll have, he'll still appear. You know, he probably won't be wrestling like every week, but yeah.
Not many do though, do they?
No, exactly. I don't think it'll be any different, like to how we usually see someone like who wrestles like like Kenny Omega. Like he probably has on average like 1 to 2 matches a month, like on TV and like at pay-per-views and stuff like that at the moment. Because I can think of about maybe 8 matches that Kenny's had since he's returned.
I think
maybe
it'll be
8,
similar
maybe
to
8
that.
to 10.
Yeah.
So,
MJF doesn't wrestle very much either.
No.
Keep him like MJF like a special attraction.
Although he did wrestle a lot
Forbidden Door.
when he was a face. He was
did.
wrestling every week for us when he was a face. Like so,
God,
like
I
the
love
little
that.
things like that was so well done. That like,
When he was just desperate to please,
it was
like
brilliant.
get approval.
Yes.
give me it
Little
again.
Things like that. I'm going to segue again. Actually, talk about like little details. Talk about the multi-man tag that we had.
Yeah.
Something I noticed was when they were trying to tag in, Ospreay was trying to get to his corner. And they were all reaching out like, come on, we're all a team here. We've got you. We'll get you. Yuta was bridging in his corner trying to get, and he was going, please tag me. Somebody tag. And they were all just so they're going, nah, fuck you. Eventually Mox went, all right, fine. Get out, bitch. And yeah, just little details like that. Absolutely phenomenal. I love that final. That was the main event, wasn't it?
It was the main event. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to scramble because apparently, well, Claudio couldn't make it over. That's why they had Frank step in, the soon-to-be lawyer Frank step in.
That's so good that they
on the heel
sorted
side.
that out.
Didn't they do that?
Well, no,
'cause
so
Cash couldn't, Cash
So
couldn't get there either, so that's why we had Stokely dressed like a slippery frog running around ringside.
well, he would have done that anyway, but Cash didn't turn up. But basically, he would have done that anyway. But no, Cash. I think there was some kind of travel issue. But so basically they had they just bolstered the tags because I think they were clearly going to do something with Atlantis and Atlantis Junior. Well, Atlantis Junior was already in the match, but they were going to clearly do something with Atlantis involved with FTR had everyone turned up as intended. So I think they had to think on the fly and they thought, okay, well we'll put Atlantis in the actual babyface side, and we'll put like Lance Archer with like, you know, the heels because he must have already been there, but he wasn't previously announced. So, I mean, fair play. It ended up being like really fun. Like,
you know what? I had to actually apologize because remember last week's episode that, you know, when we had the same kind of variation match like last week on Dynamite where I said I wasn't a fan of it, and I wasn't a fan of the announcement of the 6. Well, at the time it was going to be 6v6, then it became 7-on-7. I wasn't a fan of the match because it felt like just another variation of the same match that we've gotten the past 2-3 weeks. And I will apologize because not only was the match great, but if you guys noticed during the match, like 7-on-7, so they kind of kept it like Lucha Libre traditional rules that
you don't have to tag.
You didn't have to tag. So you go out of the ring, the next guy comes in. That was the tag. That was a self-tag itself. And that's what I loved about the presentation. They kept it as authentic as they possibly could. You know, yeah, it being an AEW television show, but listen, you're in CMLL's house. You're in Arena de Mexico. You know, so I loved what they did with the 7-man tag. I loved all the interaction with each other. And listen, I know it was only a minute, maybe a minute and 30. But the interaction between Bandito and Takeshita, they've been teasing us for weeks now. Can we get the damn one-on-one match? That moment where they're scrambling and then Bandito just hit him with that, and then Takeshita came right back up. I was like, fuck, man, that was cool.
There's a reason he's the greatest luchador in the world, but no, it's ironic actually because it was almost 2 years ago to the day where they had the match on Rampage, which is probably like the best Rampage match in history, if you ask me. If you go back and watch it, it was almost 2 years ago. So I think you're right. I think there is something there. But plus, I think Takeshita, obviously, he's in the G1 this year, so All In takes place just before. So he's going to need to do something before he eventually wins the tournament and then wins the IWGP title in Wrestle Kingdom. So he's going to need something just to, you know, get himself ready for that tournament because he's going to have a big year. I think, we said it earlier in the week, didn't we? Takeshita's probably. I wouldn't be surprised if he won the whole thing. He deserves it.
That B block is a murderer's row. Do you see the B block?
It is. It's going to be insane. And I think, but it's like because of where AEW is, when we've got people like Jay White coming back, we've got people like Eddie Kingston coming back, and people in the top end of the picture like Hangman, Ospreay, Swerve, MJF's in that conversation as well, Moxley. obviously. Kenny Omega even, depending on what happens after the Okada stuff, and even Okada. So Takeshita, to me, just feels like he's, he deserves to be there, but again, he's going to need something to hold on to. And I think the IWGP title, with the past like G1s that he's had and the tournaments that he's had in Japan, like give it to him. He's perfect for it.
Yeah, I feel like New Japan needs Takeshita at the moment.
Well, he's signed to AEW,
He signed to
New
them,
Japan,
he signed
and
to
DDT.
He signed God knows where.
They should use him.
He signed everywhere. It's amazing.
They should use him because at the end of the day, there's nobody in New Japan that has got it at the moment. There's nobody you could stick that belt on and they would be able to run with it. Yeah, but they did that and then took it off him about fucking 4 months later. It was stupid. Yeah, it was stupid. Yeah. No, he should have kept it for longer. But what I mean is, there's nobody on Takeshita's level who you could stick that belt on and actually make a fucking difference right now. They're trying it. They've hot shot the belt a few times over the last 12 to 18 months.
I think they were hoping for Shooter to sort of be it, and
he's just not though, is he? Not yet, anyway.
He's not there. He's not there yet.
I really do.
He might do, but he's not progressed at the level they expected, has he?
He's not there yet. Yeah,
Takeshita is there right now.
Yeah,
and he's not going to be in the AEW title mix. So
yeah, exactly. The only other one
split from Callis first, though. Do him and Kyle Fletcher have a falling out?
I wouldn't.
Divorced? Is there?
I would have him win the belt, and I would have Callis be lording it all over the entire world that Takeshita's the IWGP champion, and I would actually leverage Callis in New Japan as well if I was New Japan.
Well, because they've also got Hechicero in the mix. So imagine if Callis starts leading an international army of big players like Hechicero eventually taking the CMLL title. Obviously, Josh Alexander's the MLP champion, and why not have Brian Cage and Lance Archer when Brian's fit again? Have them go after the tags, or even the IWGP tags. Have RPG Vice go after the CMLL tags. Just stake your claim across your whole, all the partnerships and everything.
You're going to need a new dominant heel faction when when Moxley's guys eventually get disbanded and the Death Riders no more. The Callis family have been, building up, adding new members. They're in perfect
and Okada
position.
might be a member now. Am I right? Is Okada a member, or have they?
They have specifically not confirmed. On commentary, they were umming and ahhing, is he, isn't he? I personally see it as almost like he's made a deal. Get me this United title, one of your guys can have the first shot, but they've deliberately not said. I don't think we're meant to know yet.
Yeah, because they made it that Hechicero was announced as a member, and I think
I could watch him all day.
Oh, he's so.
I still go back to one of my favourite matches from last year, which was the Hechicero Zack Sabre Jr. match at RevPro.
I was there for that.
So I was
in the audience for that.
I ended up on the second row thanks to a guy I met at Dynamite in Cardiff. He had some spare tickets. It was fucking incredible. It was such a good match. It was literally just like watching a fucking Rubik's Cube for 20 minutes.
He genuinely is insane. The match he had with Danielson was a dream match. And speaking of Bryan Danielson, when I say when, because we know it's, I know we probably should say if, but I think when he comes back and we have him for a certain amount of time, what is the one match that you would book him against? If you had to pick just one opponent out of anybody, who would you book Bryan Danielson against? It could be a match that he's had before. It could be something that he's never had before. So
anyone at all. Mercedes Moné.
Ooh, intergender wrestling, is it? Let's go.
I haven't got a clue.
I have the perfect match, and this would be his retirement match, because how fitting would his retirement match would be his same opponent from his first match in AEW. It's been almost 4 years. 4 years. How about the rematch between him and Omega?
I don't want him to retire.
Bryan Danielson. But unfortunately it's going to happen, and
not anytime
Bryan
soon.
Danielson. No, not anytime soon. But I say, you kind of look at both in the sense, both Omega and Danielson in the sense, unfortunately due to injuries and just outliers that they're out of control of. I say whenever his retirement. I'm not saying obviously this year or whenever, but how fitting would it be that his final match in AEW would be the same guy had his first match in that ended in a draw. We never got a decisive winner between whether it's a retirement or not. The rematch, like that's the one match I would book for Danielson. The rematch with Omega.
I want a 2 out of 3 falls with Zach.
That's
They
a good
did
one.
say they want to do that on neutral ground, didn't they?
Because they did the
yeah.
first match in the States, they did it in Japan, and they need to do it in the UK. Then it's only fitting. So, Tony, next year, Forbidden Door
What?
or All
This
In.
year?
Sorry,
This year,
Forbidden
while
Door.
it's
Right
here.
here.
or even
Forbidden
this. Actually,
Door.
yeah. To be fair, yeah, do it. Book it
RevPro
for Forbidden
anniversary
Door.
show coming up.
Well, hold up. You say neutral ground. That's not neutral ground. That's
No, it's not. It's the
No,
very
yeah,
long
but it's
Sabre
London.
territory.
Yeah,
I know, like promotion-wise,
Oh,
yeah.
they-
but
they
it's
have
like-
the
He is
first-
taking a bump.
They had the first match in
All my
Seattle.
stuff's always named
They had-
after wrestlers, by the way.
Wait, what was the Fox's name?
John Foxley. We have John Foxley,
Oh, respect.
Donna Perazzo, Rex Excalibur, Squilliam Regal, and Pecky Lynch.
Pecky Lynch, yeah.
Pecky Lynch. And that's just Cthulhu. He's just here for the vibes.
He's just there chilling.
Yeah.
No, they had the first match that they had in Seattle, in Danielson's hometown. It's only fair. They got to give it in Zach's home country. They got
Yeah, no, of course.
I think they should do it in that pub that they wrestled in, that someone unearthed from
Yeah.
like 2007 or something.
God.
Just do it in that pub. We'll all go down there, get
There's
a couple of pints in.
story about that. Apparently, like they all went out. There was one night they were working together. They all went out on the beach. Some of them were drinking and dancing, and then like the non-drinks had to carry them back to the hotel. It was a whole thing. If I could get one person on the show, I want Zach, and I want him to tell me that story because I feel like he'll embellish and make it sound worse. than it
It
was.
sounds kind of fitting, like that. Their third match would be like in a very small, low key, like
They do it in a
non-packed area.
field.
Well, no, I was
They
gonna
can
say
wrestle
like
in my back garden if they can get rid of the geese.
remember how Rocky 2 ended? No, how Rocky 3 ended with Apollo
doesn't.
and Rocky in the gym by themselves. That was their third fight
Empty
that never
arena.
didn't happen in front of an empty arena, just them two, and then they'll say who won or lost, or you could guess. They'll never tell you.
There's all sorts of options because surely AEW are gearing up for a world tour at this point. The success of the UK, of Australia, of Mexico, at least a European tour.
You'd think so. I mean, that's got to be the next logical step.
I'd hope so.
We're all going, right, lads? We'll rent a van.
WWE have been doing everywhere,
Yeah,
haven't they, all
I'm in.
over Europe? So that's got to be the next logical step, and it would be a great little way to do 3 or 4 events over a few weeks in a few different countries. Tony,
We'll do it. I'll drive the van. You lot kip in the
I
back.
think
Group chat on tour.
Tony was just in France for a few days. I mean,
in.
he did what 3,
Okay,
4
Tony.
live sessions. I don't think he was just there for a photo op.
No.
Like, I mean, Grand Slam France. Maybe next year.
He's cooking something.
Bigger.
That or
He's
like
cooking
they
something.
can do it in the UK.
I don't know whether it'll be in France because it was the Cannes
Yeah.
Film Festival, and there's like he's talking there to like
It
lots
was,
of
but
creatives.
he made a
and,
point of saying,
maybe he's
I'm
building
in
his marketing
France,
team.
Look,
it felt like it was
I'm
more.
here in France.
It felt like it was
But he's
more
never done that before.
talking to the TV execs and stuff, though, wasn't it? Because he was pitching the success of AEW and stuff like that. So
True.
I don't know.
Well, if not, then they can do it in the UK. And I personally will offer now to take Bryan Danielson around the UK indies, give him a tour, give him the full fan experience. We can have a vegan Greg's sausage roll. We can stand outside in the room. We can get
Yes.
We'll stand in room only. We'll do the
Well,
full thing.
I-
Brian, we'll take you to TNT.
Like Danielson, I'm also plant based, so I know
Finish
all the
it
good
Eve.
eateries. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have-
Oh,
the
yes.
herbables.
I only have 3 requests from Tony Khan. Number 1, Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door this year. Do it.
2 out of 3 falls, please, Tony.
Well,
It can be Andy's birthday
that
present.
wasn't my request.
No, it is.
Number 2, stick the title belts on the Outrunners. That is the most high priority request of the lot. And I forgot what number 3 is. So they're just the 2 are good.
A free hat for Lucy.
Again, that wasn't my request. My requests
It
are
is, that's
Outrunners
all he
titles and that much. Oh, and yeah, number 3, get Hechicero on every week.
Yeah, actually.
It doesn't even have to be
Are
a
we
match.
asking Tony for shit? Because I've got a list. First of all, yeah.
What's
Not
that?
just a hat, you can buy me a pony. Brandon Cutler, please.
it's like your Christmas list.
Tony. Anthony. Khan. Where is Brandon? He's now a sexy dragon. Had an amazing match this week. I've been watching the highlights of it repeatedly. Dangerous number of times, honestly.
I don't
I
doubt
can't find
that
the
for a
whole thing.
second.
When I do, I'm going to become
It's a
insufferable.
good job we don't use VHS anymore. Fucking thing be worn out.
Rewind. Yeah, we need him back on. Come on, he is a sexy dragon.
But
he's the only dragon in AEW right now. Get him back on the bloody
For now.
telly.
for now.
Yeah,
For now.
for now. The dragon.
The thing with the Bryan Danielson stuff is though it's non-canon, is it? So like because it was after the event, so it's like
It was just a fan that was helping out.
Like we're not
It's
supposed
probably
to.
the fan that attacked MJF.
We're not supposed to
Brought
know
in
this.
fucking Danielson.
MJF is the best at the, like healing the business, isn't he? Because
yeah.
like not only is that did that happen the other day, but I remember that night when he turned heel. Remember when he twatted Daniel Garcia and he turned heel again, and he had a fella in the fucking crowd trying to start a fight with him on the fucking stairs. I was like, you don't get that from anybody else.
Yep.
Nobody else gets someone so. And people go, oh, it's cheap heat. It's heat. It's fucking heat.
It's still heat.
People don't understand what fucking heat is at the moment because they like, oh, go like they say some people have go away heat. It's heat. Like the Death Rider stuff that they were getting fucking heat. It wasn't go away heat. It's fucking heat. And MJF just gets fucking nuclear heat wherever he goes. Him and Don Callis
I'm sure that Roddy Piper once got into it with a fan.
got stabbed. Yeah,
I need to Google this.
he did. He got stabbed.
It was before a match or something. I know. I want to say Bruiser Brody did as well. Blackjack Mulligan. There's a few that have got into it fans, but we know how much MJF loves Roddy Piper. I feel like if a fan stabbed MJF, he would probably take it as a compliment because, oh my god,
He'd wear it
guys,
a badge of
you're
honour.
just like Roddy.
I think with MJF,
Yeah.
right? I've said this before. Like, his wrestling is so
I'm
underrated
gonna
by
Google
people
this.
because of how good his character is and how good he is on the mic. But when you actually watch him wrestle, he's fucking incredible. He can cover every style of wrestling, and he can change the pace. He can go whatever pace he wants. He's the perfect combination of what I would say is Ric Flair and Roddy Piper, which are his two. Obviously, it's his two fucking favorite. Like, but you can see it in the way he is. He's a perfect amalgamation of the two. It's incredible. Like the guy's phenomenal,
And he's only 27 years old. It's ridiculous.
I think he's 28 now, is he? You've been saying he's 27 for the
Or
last year,
28.
so he's probably 28 now. Yeah,
It probably.
but yeah, it's the same
It's
points
just
anyway.
the
You say it
default
next
age
year
I
as
go
well.
to.
27 next year.
I probably will.
I will know.
Reading about Roddy, apparently he was stopping a guy from like harassing a little kid at a concession stand. Told him off, and Roddy got stabbed. So I feel like MJF might just join in with the bullying, but yeah, still, it is not unheard of for people to get stabbed. So Maxwell, maybe just bring it down a little.
Wrestling
Bring it
is
down.
back, baby. Getting attacked at your hotel, getting death threats.
And he's
at
only
your
26
hotel
as
after
well.
the wrestling show.
I'm sweating.
He's only 25.
It's
by the way,
20
apparently.
degrees.
You know
It's
what?
like the
that's
reverse
a-
Hulk Hogan
Mhm.
with the stadium numbers.
restoring the feeling, man. That's what MJF is
fucking
doing.
Restoring a feeling, honestly. I'll smash me fucking screen.
Brand new feeling right now.
Oh,
It's never been like this
Slightly.
before.
I was reading something yesterday when someone was talking about how the fans online are constantly finding something to complain about, restore the feeling, and it is right. There's always something. I'm sure people have found stuff to complain about yesterday. Miserable cunts.
If you're complaining about last night, I don't fucking believe you.
You can have a 10 out
The
of 10.
only thing I will say is the lack of women's.
That's a
matches.
problem every fucking week.
Well,
it's a head wrecker.
It is.
I complain about the
But-
lack of women's matches on an all-women's show. I think the women are the best thing about AEW.
But I did read, and I can't remember if this was Lucha Blog, I might be wrong. Somebody said that essentially CMLL's women's division is not very strong at all, and they basically have about 3 women who are actually, can go. One of whom was the woman that Mercedes was facing, who's like 40 odd or something, or 40.
Zeuxis, yeah.
Yeah, and like, so they were saying like
shame.
their women's division is really poor, and like that's probably why. It might not have been Lucha Blog, but someone was saying that's why there wasn't really a clamour for more matches, because their division is just terrible at the moment.
But also,
if you look at the
Fantastica Mania, we're getting a few more women's matches like on that card. Like Mercedes is fighting like La Catalina, I think,
Yeah.
and they already had 2
Yeah, she
announced. They
challenged
had Persephone and Thunder Rosa, I think, or like Persephone was fighting somebody else.
I forget who
Was it
Thunder
Brad?
Rosa's facing, but I don't think it's Persephone.
Oh, is that?
gotta
Yeah,
listen
it might be
to
someone
Friday.
else. But yeah, they've got a few more matches announced, like on the Friday night show. So it tends to sort of follow the same formula a bit. With like AEW tends to book at the moment more women's matches on like Collision, which again that's all well and good. But I think if you want to sort of Dynamite just needs more women's matches like week to week because they're so good, they're so talented, and it's just a shame. I'm sounding like a broken record here, but it is just a shame that we don't get a lot of the same level of like character development for the women as we do for the guys. And
It's
the
starting.
problem is,
I mean, look at
because
with like
it's
Chris
getting better.
and Willow, and I just want the time for that to develop. All I want is Chris and Willow every single week.
I'd like
please.
to see them let them open a Dynamite. I'd like to see them actually have the confidence to let them open a Dynamite, because they haven't done that yet. They've opened Collision, and they main evented Collision, but like just let them open Dynamite. And say,
I actually like.
I don't know what the numbers would be like.
Spring Breakthrough they didn't they, with Mercedes and
Oh, it was Athena, yeah.
and Athena, yeah. That's the last time I
I'd
can
like
remember.
the Tony and Mercedes to open All In.
Well, they open, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it should. I actually think it should. I think that's the best position for it, because it's not going to main event as much as on any other time it would. I'm sorry, but nothing's going ahead of Hangman Moxley. I think it should open. I think it should. I think that's the perfect way to start the show.
It just feels huge. It makes the show feel like a big deal because they're your biggest names.
Yeah.
That should open in the middle of the show. You put Omega and Okada, and main event Hangman and Mox.
Yeah.
I think those three matches, that would be the perfect.
And to separate Hangman and Mox from Omega Okada, Hangman and Mox is going to be a Texas death match. I mean, that's like going to happen. That's going to develop over the next few weeks.
I hope so. I really hope so.
It's like it makes so much sense.
Having a Texas death match, it makes so It's Hangman's specialty.
That allows.
Yeah, it is.
That allows everyone else to get involved.
They're in Texas.
Yeah.
And at some point, Swerve. Now, Hangman. I know he wasn't. He hesitated, but if he technically saved Swerve, technically, I know he was going after Mox, but he still. Time was he'd have said no, fuck it. I'm not getting involved as long as Swerve's getting hurt. You can do what you like. But he did. He came and helped. So, I am hopeful that Swerve will get his head out of his arse and be helpful.
I just don't want him to interact. I don't want him to interact at all. Like, even if Swerve helps him, I don't want any like thanks and hugging and all that. I just want like animosity still.
No, not a hug.
What was
just because it's
telling
still
was when all the baby faces were standing tall at the end of Grand Slam, Swerve wasn't there, like with like Hangman at the center. Like there was like a shot
him back on the outside for a bit.
This is why I have my theory of what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said this a while back anyway, but I think the one that's going to turn, because they're making it like Swerve's he's not. I think Ospreay's going to stab Swerve in the back. I think Ospreay's going to be the one to turn after this. Yeah, I do. I think Ospreay's going to turn on Swerve, and Ospreay is going to be. This is going to be now Ospreay's year of story development to him winning the title at Wembley. A heel with
as a heel.
Fucking yes.
They send him into Wembley as a heel.
He'll still get fucking cheered. No one care.
Yeah, he will. That's
no one's going to give
he
a
was
fuck.
technically a heel going into the match with Jericho.
Yeah, and he still got cheered.
Was, and he still got cheered.
He did, but that wasn't for the world title.
I won't matter.
Mind you, are you going to boo Hangman? Even for Ospreay, are you going to boo Hangman Adam Page at Wembley?
Hangman's not going to be champ at that point.
Oh, who is Kenny?
Probably Kenny.
In a perfect world,
or MJF.
You have Kenny. Kenny should be the. This is just me, like I guess fantasy booking. Kenny should be the one to beat Hangman later this year at Full Gear, because of course Full Gear. You look at the history between Hangman and Omega. They are two past some. Encounters have been at Full Gear, and I say a heel Omega should beat Hangman. And
so we get heel Omega, heel Ospreay.
No, I say you could have like a heel run for Ospreay, like for like a few months, But
you could do a year solid, and then have him.
Yeah, you could do a year solid,
just
but right,
before.
like a few months before All In next year, he comes to his senses, and then we get him back in the main event scene, and you have Ospreay Omega 3 right there as your main event at All In next year.
Because again, they've done Japan, they've done Canada, and they need to do the UK.
I wouldn't have Full Gear though. Hangman needs a longer run than that. I would if you're going to have them face off a Full Gear, I'd have Hangman win and then have Kenny win a rematch, maybe a month or two later. Hangman only having a 2 or 3 month reign.
It's the same
Full
problem.
Gear. Oh my God, yeah, Full Gear. That'll be a 4-month reign
Still
from
too
July.
short.
Yeah,
July
too
November.
short for me. I think he needs 6 months at least. We're not going to have these year-long reigns anymore. I get that, but 6 months because his last one was cut short because of that dickhead.
I agree.
Fucking
Yeah,
Saudi Dave.
I think fucking Hangman should defend the belt against Bryan Danielson. Because that was going to be my dream match for Danielson. I think because the match that they had with at Grand Slam, to me, it was one of the best like matches I've seen like from Hangman Page, like genuinely, because it's Bryan fucking Danielson. Run the match
You're
back for the
assuming
title.
Hangman's winning here.
Well,
Shut up! We're not doing this now. We're not doing this.
They really can't end all in on a downer. They can't, after everything that's happened and the way the story's gone. They can't end all the biggest show of the year on a downer.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
The only thing I think, what if Darby comes back and they think? I'm not saying this is what they should do. I'm just saying, what if they think that Hangman losing and then Darby returning is the
I
moment?
don't think they think that.
No, it's not big
because
enough.
that's another
It's
pay
not
per view.
big
It's
enough.
another event. It's another fucking 2 or 3 months down the line. You can't just hot shot him into a fucking title match out of nowhere.
I think climbing Everest lets you jump the queue.
I think it lets you jump the queue to be the person that is gonna fight off the Death Riders and maybe end the Death
Not win
Riders.
the
But
title.
Hangman wins the title, and I think Darby then is maybe the one that will put the final nail in the coffin. You know, because
It's quite apropos. That.
yeah, because of
Like
the
a
Death
5
Riders.
versus 5 coffin match.
Yeah, no,
or
I
something.
think he will. I think he
Settle.
finishes
did.
him. I think he
Go on,
finishes
Brett.
them.
No, I was just saying I like what Andy did there.
Yeah, that was very good.
No,
That was very
I
good.
genuinely do think
Okay.
that's the best way forward. Though Darby like looks like the Death Riders are on top. Maybe Ospreay and Swerve do get into it and try and help, and then the Bucks get involved and they fight to the back, and then you've got Claudio,
That's-
U-turn, and maybe Gabe Kidd if he's there. And if Darby Allin comes down from the fucking is there even a fucking roof there? No, there's not. It's open, is it? Okay, Darby Allin
It's
comes out of a
open.
fucking helicopter.
Can be.
He skydives.
Just off Everest.
He's still jumping from Everest, like,
I mean-
and he just lands right at the right time.
He's got his skateboard. He'll be fine.
I think that's the best moment then, and if he fights them off,
Imagine a
and then
Darby Allin Gabe Kidd feud, though. Come on.
No,
That'd
like
be
to
cool.
Darby, I think also would probably bring Sting for backup to fend off the Death Riders. I think that I don't know where you fit Ospreay and Swerve into the whole thing. I think because they're sort of doing their own thing at the moment.
I
But
think
maybe
they're
they
fighting
just
the
come
Bucks
back.
at all in.
I think they have to fight the
Yeah.
Bucks. That's nailed on.
Yeah.
But like, I really hope one of them turns. And the way the story's going, it's making you think that Swerve's the one who's against it all, and he's the one who's not playing. And it just,
It's Ospreay,
it just,
isn't it? Yeah.
just because it's wrestling, for God's sake. So this is the kind of thing that happens where it's going to be
They
the
dangle
one,
the carrot.
yeah,
They dangle the carrot.
and then
I'd
it's
fall
fucking
for it every
Ospreay all
time. I'm
along.
the biggest idiot.
And it would be great
Yeah.
if they did that.
But the thing as well,
know.
I feel bad for Wrestling Mark because he would love to obviously chat about this because he loves getting into all these kinds of like ins and outs about how pay per views are going to look. But again, you got to factor in people like Eddie Kingston because he's he fits into the story so well.
Yeah.
He fits into the whole Death Riders thing really, really well. I think same with Jay, but Jay White fits in because of his history with Hangman, like running up to they had a blood feud over like the better half of last year, early this year. Hangman against Jay White as his first defense. I'd love that.
I was literally just
Do it
going
at
to say.
Forbidden Door.
I was just going to say to you, if Hangman does win, which he should do, who would your first defense be?
Jay
Mine
White.
would be, well, okay, I'll choose someone else then, as soon as you said Jay White. Chris Jericho. No, but I was going to say Jay White. But I
I'll
think
go
that...
MJF.
That's a,
Yeah, again, it's a great shout. There's so many people. Even Ospreay you could throw in.
Brett?
Oof, man.
Like Hangman's
I think-
first title defense. Yeah.
I think it would be too soon to do MJF. You could stretch that out longer, in my opinion. Like, especially let's say if he does win the Casino Gauntlet, and hopefully, like I said, not a cash in. I would like this, but, future event down the line, like maybe not Forbidden Door, maybe All Out. You could do Hangman and MJF at in Toronto at All Out right there, or we'll see what happens in that, but. Fuck it, I'll say MJF because I feel the interactions that they've had the past few weeks, few months, like they're building up to that eventual clash down the line for the title. It's right there, in my opinion.
what about Ricochet?
Oh, you
'Cause
can
it's-
make it Kyle Fletcher.
It's someone who's going to
Okay,
be...
Ricochet.
It's someone who's going to be able to play the great heel to his face and who can take a loss, and Ricochet can take a loss.
Yeah.
Carl Fletcher could, to be fair.
Yeah, because Kyle Fletcher's on the precipice of being in like the main event picture right now. I think him having a good feud with Hangman could again just send him up to that level. I don't know if he wins it. I mean, I personally would have him beat whoever wins out of Kenny and Okada in a few months' time. I personally would have Kyle do that.
See, I
Either
know we
him or
disagree, but
Ricochet.
I'd have him beat Adam Cole.
I would.
I know you
Cole.
think the
I think
title's too low, but
I know. I agree. I agree with what you said. I think the TNT needs something right now, and I think he would be great for that. I think still if that I hate this, by the way, that the talk is that this other title is going to be a second world title. That's what people are suggesting. I fucking hate
it's not.
that.
They've said almost.
Yeah, but
It's
not
like
gonna be
the
world
second
title,
in.
be
It's like the
yeah.
secondary title.
I still hate that.
Yeah.
It should be what the equivalent to the Intercontinental title, which is your upper mid card, but the kind of level before the title. Like, the idea that people are trying to have it as Collision, it's going to be on Collision every week. No, I don't like that. But anyway, regardless, I think that would still be slightly too high for Fletcher right now. Like, he could do it. I just think that there's others in line. There's others in line who I think would be.
I'd say
waiting
I'd have
longer.
Ricochet do that. Go after Kenny.
Yeah, I think Ricochet would be a good one.
You know what? All right. So we obviously have Omega and Okada at All In. Hypothetically, Omega wins. Hangman and Okada first defense. I mean,
That's a shout. I mean,
Oh, okay.
That could be a good one.
If it could be, but the only issue I would have is that if Okada loses to Kenny, is he going to have to take another loss to Hangman? Because Hangman's got to win his first feud, and I think the person who you can get away with it would be Jay, because obviously Jay won most of their previous encounters, and I think it's fitting. It's more of a full circle moment for Hangman's character to vanquish the man who he could barely beat, who he's only beaten like once, but he's not beaten recently. And it's like a kind of like a full circle moment for him. I think Okada.
Oh, go on.
I was going to say, like Okada, absolute. I'd love to see the match because they did have a bit of history. You know, when around Blood and Guts last year, when Hangman was recruited onto the Team A, the elite team, and Okada was taking a bit of exception to him. So I think they could revisit that. I wouldn't have it as the first defense personally, but I've definitely Hangman should win Okada, but after he's probably got like a few wins back and he's sort of hovering around like the main title picture for a little bit.
It's a good problem that AEW has, in a sense that let's say when Hangman wins, but I'm saying like that from a year ago or 2 years ago till now, like you look at their main event scene, that is something that they don't have an issue with as far as like high caliber talent to compete. Like, and just on a quick tangent, I hand out to Lucy. I kind of feel bad for Copeland in a sense, like, because I don't care what anyone says, like his initial run when he came, with
brilliant.
the TNT title, it was
fantastic.
It was very
excellent.
good. It was very, very good, excellent, but unfortunately got hurt. The problem was when he came back, they put him in the main event scene when you had a Jay White, when you had the other top tier talent in AEW. Like, that's what I feel
agree.
bad. Like, I don't put that on Copeland himself. Everyone's putting that on him. Like, no, he had a very good fucking run. The TNT run that he had was the best
It was
one.
fantastic.
I mean, the matches he was having was good. I like the stuff that he did with the House of Black. It would have been really interesting to see, like, let's say if he didn't get hurt, would there have been a storyline? It looked like there was a storyline right there. Like, does he take over Malachi Black leading the House
I think
of
that
Black?
was the plan. I think
felt
that
like that was the plan.
it felt like that was what they were going with, because obviously they teased Brody and Buddy turning on Malachi in the cage match, the one where he got hurt. But it did seem like, for the few weeks leading up to the match, that they were bringing out like a darker side of Cope, and I was really interested to see where that was, where that was going, and because I think he's quite good at that kind of stuff, and he's always been quite interested in the sort of the dark and the macabre like sides of his characters and stuff like that. I think it would have been quite good in AEW. I don't know how you get there now, and maybe it's too late, because I think they're just still eventually building up to this Cope and Christian like return and like reuniting and winning the titles. I have no idea how we get there. I hypothesized it would be at All In, but it's not going to happen now.
Since they announced now that we obviously know that All Out's in Toronto, that's the end goal right there.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think once you get that done and out the way, and however long, maybe they have like a short tag run or something, but once that's done, everything else that they do on top of that is just a bonus, because that's clearly what they're trying to do now, and then everything else after that, it doesn't really matter, because now everyone's kind of got their wish of having them, have one last tag run.
I still think All Out's too soon to let that play out, to be honest. I just don't.
It just seems so hard how you're going to turn Christian face or turn Cope heel. Again,
I just don't know how they
I
can
think
do it.
I think Cope is always on the verge of turning heel. I think he's easy to turn heel.
Yeah, but do you want, again, like, if you're going to go back after FTR, a heel team, a freshly heel team, who are killing it, by the way, who injured Cope, he's not going to come back as a heel and just say, oh, yeah, by the way, thanks for injuring me, or writing me off TV. Hey, Christian, do you fancy tagging together again? No, it's going to need months. I think you can do something
Go
at
fuck
Toronto.
yourself.
Exactly. That's still one of my favorite pieces of TV. I still see it like every week.
Maybe All Out is the show. Like, don't have them tag.
Yeah.
All Out is the
Could be.
show
Yeah.
where they reunite. Where
Yeah,
however
they do
we get them,
something where they bring them back
reunite,
together.
like whether maybe Christian is in a nefarious position where he's getting maybe beat down by FTR or beaten down by the rest of the patriarchy, and
Yeah,
they've
because
had
Nick
they'll
and
give you
Skip
little
are
hints.
bonding now.
they'll give you like they up until All Out, like the weeks leading up, they'll give you like little minor interactions between Cope and Christian. That it's not so tension or so much hateful when it was back in 2023. But what if All Out in Toronto is the night where they reunite, they reform, and they just get that embrace and that Toronto audience
Yeah,
is just
I think that's more
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
I'll give you that one.
Again, I
Tucker
don't know how
Wayne
you get there
finally
because that's
loses their shit with him,
Yeah,
Yeah.
kicks him in the balls.
because
Buggers off
it clearly seems that like this inevitable Nick Wayne split from the patriarchy is very much like Nick Wayne's going to be the babyface. But again, we talked
I don't
about
think so.
the
I don't think
dangling
so.
the carrot.
No, I don't see
would
Kip
love it.
Sabian as a babyface in
I would
any
love it.
universe. He's such
I
a
would
good heel.
I would absolutely love it if it was the other way around, and then Christian was basically left with nothing, so
I
you
think
actually
that's-
feel sorry for him.
I think that's the way it's going.
Kip.
Yeah.
I would
Let
love
Kip
it.
run
I think
that
it'd be
little
genius bit
mini
of
heel
storytelling where
faction.
you feel bad for the man who has been so visceral in his hatred and his like vitriol over and just insulting people's dead dads, and you actually start to feel sorry for the guy. That's when you turn. That's how you
Yes.
start. But doing it
That's
now
how
would
you
be
do it.
really quite.
And
It'd be
you can
really quite
add
rushed.
some dark. If you want dark Cope, but still as a babyface, Kip Sabian's the perfect foil to that. Kip Sabian is what would happen if, like, Tim Burton designed a wrestler. You could have him being a creepy little fuck, and Adam Copeland, that's how he returns and helps Christian. He's like, oh, really? Really? You want to fucking go, Kip? Let's go.
Well, and don't forget, like
So,
we still have the
Kip and-
the big piece of all this to come in terms of Luchasaurus.
Exactly, and he's a babyface. So
Yeah, if we're talking about Luchasaurus, we're talking about Jack Perry. You want
I mean,
Hangman's
Kill
first
Switch.
feud?
We need Kill Switch.
Give me
back.
Jack Perry.
Wait, when's he coming back? I mean, there's so many returns
Yes.
that could happen.
exactly,
isn't there?
so many. There's so many.
I don't care if he comes back and costs Hangman the title for
It will-
Mox, as long as I've got Jack Perry back.
Here's a mad one that I've just been thinking of for a possible Hangman first match. Darby Allin.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because what if
I'd watch
Darby
it.
Allin comes back and we think he's gonna save Hangman, or he turns up after Hangman's won and attacks him? Because like at the end of the day, so many fans have turned on Darby Allin because of all this bullshit about Tony's waiting for Darby Allin. Why not
No,
just lean into it
I
and
don't think they
have him a
have.
heel?
That's only happened online. I think if he walked into an arena, they'd take the roof off.
Probably would, but I still think
wouldn't
that
be a roof
that,
anyway.
that would be a almost dead Terry level of heat from 1996 if Darby Allin turned. That would be one of them holy fuck moments.
He's the only pillar that's never, ever even hinted at being a bad boy.
no.
I would still love it. Honestly, I've said this before, but I'd go back to that promo he did with
I'd
with
never
Mox.
do that to Sting.
Yeah, when after Mox tried to murder Danielson, he did a promo with Mox, didn't he? And he said, "What you did to Brian," he said, "I would never do that to Sting." And when he said that, I was thinking, he's going to do that to Sting.
I'd love it.
I'd fucking
it
love
so
that. I
much.
would. It'd just be like
There's
imagine
so
a
many-
dark Darby Allin, like an evil
Turn
Darby Allin.
everybody heel.
Yes.
The Dynamite after
No.
All In.
But his face is now painted like
the
black
very
with
first-
just a few white bits
Oh
on.
yes.
Love, yes.
No.
Now that
Stop turning everyone heel.
You just came up with
I'm
it.
such a boring wrestling fan. I know. I like good boys. I want everyone. Wouldn't it be nice if everyone was nice in wrestling?
no, it'd be boring. It'd be boring.
You know
Oh,
what?
it'd be
Hold up.
lovely.
There is an example in wrestling history where turning Darby heel can backfire, and that was when they tried to turn Jeff Hardy heel. I think it was 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
And it's
I-
like
I know what you're
Jeff was
thinking
so
about,
beloved, and like his offense and everything like that. It's not the work of a heel. So like Darby would have to change up his whole style, his whole offense. Like that's what Jeff didn't do back in 2002, 2003.
I think Darby could do that.
Yeah.
I think Darby could do that.
Darby battered through matches. That's his thing. He stands there and lets them beat the shit out of him till they're knackered. And then he coffin drops on them. You don't batter a heel all the way through a match, and then he does a heroic comeback.
What did Jeff Hardy not have that Darby Allin has? A sting to beat the living shit out of.
Oh.
No, it was the other way around. That one fateful day in 2011.
Oh God, I forgot about that. Fucking hell. Yeah, he fucking mentally beat the shit out of Sting.
Did have a sting. It did not go well.
It did not go well. No, I still think.
Decided not to talk about that.
Again, Darby's one of those ones where, to me, he's always felt like this generation's Jeff Hardy because of not the way he wrestles, but also just because of like his character is that there's a little bit of like similarities in there. I still think like the match he had with Ospreay in the C2 was one of the best matches of the year. He's so underrated in the ring.
His match catalogue's excellent.
Surely Ospreay's got to be Hangman's first defense. We're talking about it all. Surely it's got to be Ospreay.
Way too soon. I think way too soon to run it back, in my opinion.
Because again, Ospreay's good. Because Hangman needs to win his first feud, and I think if Ospreay losing 2 in a row,
if you want to heal Ospreay, that's how you get it.
Especially if you turn him heel and then have him go after Hangman, in like a 4 or 5 week build.
No, you don't turn him heel until he loses.
Maybe, but even so, like, I still think Jay White is the one that makes the most sense.
Jay White makes perfect sense. He really does. He can take a loss. It's a main event spot for him, and he can.
And they like to run rematches. I've noticed that, like a particular pay per view. I think it might be Full Gear. So I know it's a couple of months away, but Hangman and Jay White, they fought last year. Jay White won. This year they fight again for the title. Hangman wins. It's kind of, that's a consistent theme that they've done with Full Gears. Like we alluded to it earlier with like the Kenny and Hangman matches.
What about
the same sort of thing?
Double J. Stick the belt on him.
It makes storyline sense.
Stick the belt on him.
It makes storyline sense.
Because, it was nailed on a couple of months ago, wasn't it? The they're sticking the belt on Jeff Jarrett. What are they doing? All because he said,
I want every fucking wrestler says they want the title.
And if they don't, they should be. Like I said the same when Dustin Rhodes said it a month ago. Every single wrestler, their aim should be the world title. They shouldn't be like...
You could put it on Dustin Rhodes and I would be fucking...
But it shouldn't...
It's what they said.
Sorry, mate, go on.
Austin, it's like Austin said it in an interview. He said, like, if you do, like, genuinely, like, in character or in like real life, if you are not there and you don't want to like win the world title, you shouldn't be there. So why not have every character, even fucking John Silver and Alex Reynolds should want to win the world title.
And I also think they should be back to backup Hangman over the next month at some point.
I'm so glad you picked that up. I was waiting for that. But yeah, I mean, we can hypothesize like everything about All In until the cows come home.
Okay,
but
one more opponent, the Outrunners versus Hangman. They love a handicap match. Stick the world title on the Outrunners.
The world title.
Are you going to put the world title in half, Andy?
No, they can share it. They can take turns.
I'll have it on Mondays. You can have it on
riding
Tuesdays.
it, doing their world tour on their jet skis.
Yeah, so I think that's fucking great.
No, if we're doing that, then it's going to Brandon Cutler.
I'll carry it round for them.
No, it's Brandon's. Think how good it would look in his new blue and black.
No, just from a match perspective.
Bandito doesn't need it. He has a title. Daniel.
No, but from a storyline perspective, the Cowboy and the Bandit, and then you throw in Brian Keith somewhere to have the Bounty Hunter.
Remember, I brought that up. Like now, Brian Keith, we need to turn him face at some point. And if we get all those three, turning face at some point, we need that trios of Hangman, Keith, and Bandito.
And
call them the three amigos or three bandits or something like that.
Dead or Alive. That's what you need to call it. Dead or Alive.
I think we should. That should be just accepted in wrestling now that we group all factions based on how cowboy coded they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay.
Well, speaking of...
We spent an hour and a half talking about...
talking about the most anticipated match of all time, yeah.
I don't know. I haven't touched on the Revolution Rumble yet, Andy. That's the most anticipated match of all time. At least it is. Yeah. At least for this week. At least if you're in London. So, just really quickly, I want to give a shout out. Me and Wrestling Mark are actually going to go to RevPro this Sunday at York Hall. It's based on the weather. It's going to be an absolute sweatbox. So if you're watching this and you're going, make sure you wear fucking deodorant, please, for the love of God. Just put some deodorant on.
Won't happen.
But no, the card looks class at the moment. We've got a few announcements, like a few entrants in the RevPro Rumble. I'll just read them off. We've got Shah Samuels, we've got Ricky Knight Jr., we've got Liam Slater, Ender Cara, David Francisco, Jin El Libertario, Jay Joshua, JJ Gale, Joshua James. There's going to be a bunch of surprises in there anyway as well. But yeah, this match guarantees a title shot to the winner at. Is it the anniversary show? Is it the anniversary show?
JJ Gale.
I'm not sure. But Jay Joshua wins anyway, so whatever. Jay Joshua's getting a title shots in.
See, I'm looking at Cage Match, and he's not announced, but I think I've seen a graphic for him. I'm picking Connor Mills.
Jay Joshua.
Is Connor Mills in it, though?
I think I saw a graphic of
if
him.
Connor's in it, I think Connor's the next champ, but...
Yeah. What other matches are there? We've got Lizzie Evo. No, not Lizzie Evo. Why is it? It's completely wrong. Cage Match is wrong. It's Emerson Jane versus Kanji, which should be a fucking cracker. We got for the cruiserweight title, we've got Will Caven against Nino Bryant, who we saw at Doncaster. He's fucking quality.
I hope he loses the cruiserweight title. Honestly, it's just he's had it for too long.
Nino Bryant needs to win. Well, he won the Nino Bryant won the J Cup, and then he's got this title match now, and he. So yeah.
Do you guys think that Leon Cage would have won that if he hadn't got injured? Because everything seems to be pointing that way. Because I suspect he would have won or at least he would have been one of the major.
He'd be in the conversation.
Yeah, but I mean, for the TNT Ultra X Championship, I would suspect he would have been in the conversation there as well. His
he was really
bad time.
Yeah, I hope he recovers soon. Friend of the pod, Leon Cage, love him. Yeah, he's and keep making the quality merch, pal, because it's awesome. And the British heavyweight title match is Michael Oku against TK Cooper, but Michael Oku's winning. Simple as he's winning.
I have zero interest in this because Michael Oku's already won.
Yeah.
See, I am the only Sunshine Machine defender on the podcast that is rooting for. I'm rooting for Oku. I can't root against Oku, even for Sunshine Machine. They are one of my favourites, and they make the best merch. But it's Oku.
CM Punk has ruled that Michael Oku will win.
That's ruled.
Yeah.
I don't not like Sunshine Machine. I'm just not as big a fan as some of the others. I'd prefer them as a tag team as well, rather than TK being in the tag. It's a strange thing that they've done, isn't it? It's really like a lot of people are asking.
It's come out of nowhere, isn't it?
Yeah. Like a lot of people are asking, like, where's his partner? It's a strange one, especially seeing as they're on in progress in 2 weeks.
They're still tag champs.
They're still tag champs in progress.
Only for 2 more weeks.
Oh, yes.
No, they're keeping that.
No,
they're losing everything.
No, I'm sorry. I love Light Costume, but no.
Well, clearly not if you're just saying that you don't want him to win.
I do, but I like the Lycoses, the Lycai. Lycos? What's the plural of a Lycos?
I'd say Lycai.
Lycai? Let's ask the people at some point. We'll put Lycai. Lycos? Lyco.
Speaking of asking the people, we have some questions.
Singles anyway.
Yeah, good segue there, Andy. That was a nice.
Do you need to? Was that no? But that can be one. We'll answer that one now. Likey.
Okay. Lycai, right? What is the plural of Lycos?
I'd say Lycai.
Like to pie.
Like who?
Lycos.
We'll tag him. We'll tag both.
We'll
the
tag.
Yeah,
it's just Lycos. Yeah, it's just Lycoses. It's Lycoses.
Lycoses.
Yeah, Lycoses.
Lycosises.
Yeah, famous great dinosaur.
The Lycosis.
A Lycostopus.
Lycostopie.
Jurassic Park, the new film. The Lycosises.
Okay.
I didn't realize they had a wolf dinosaur exhibit lying around somewhere. But hey, what the hell? Anyway, yes, we will answer some questions from our listeners and watchers who have followed us in our lively Discord. Sorry, again, we've lacked on this for a few weeks because everything's just been a bit all over the place in terms of scheduling. I
forget it exists.
But, luckily, some of us
every day,
Lucy.
Every day.
I'm sorry.
So we've had quite a few. We've had quite a few.
20,000 unread emails.
20,000.
Yeah.
You can get AI to
Actually, no, I've got more than that. I've got
automatically.
40,000.
That's psychotic behaviour. I don't know if you've seen Adam Bolt's
Crazy.
screenshot of his phone screen today.
How many do I have?
And he had
now?
like 100 odd missed calls, 100 odd
Oh, I can't
fucking
do that.
unread text
I can't.
messages, and it's like, what the fuck, man? That is
If
fucking
I have a
psychopath.
single
My Twitter
notification.
DMs is in the triple digit. 47,995 unread emails.
Oh,
So no, I'm not going to remember the Discord.
okay. Well,
Disgrace.
I've got a tool which I might like recommend to you to get rid of a lot of those unread emails. It's easier than you think, but that's another issue
Yes,
for another day.
please.
We have had some questions. Some of them are pretty good, so I'll answer. We're not going to get through all of them, but we'll get through as many as we can. So, Mose says, loyal, shout out Mose. Hope
Be
you're feeling
fair,
okay,
Mose,
mate,
yeah.
after your operation.
Yeah, Mose, hope
you're
you're doing
feeling
well,
alright.
mate, after having something shoved up your ass. Good lad.
Yeah, always got a lot of time for Mose. He says, if Mercedes Moné wins at All In, what is next? I see possibilities, but some are scared. So it's very cryptic. Take that what you will. But
I think Mose is still under the drugs that they administered to make sure they could stick
No.
said thing up his ass. I genuinely have no idea what he's on about. I don't think she's winning anyway, so there's the answer.
Now, me and Mark, he's not here, me and Mark were beefing about this on Twitter because I'm starting to root for her. And he threatened to replace me with JD from, what do you call it?
Yeah, that's not
I can't
happening
remember who he
ever.
is.
I
The
don't
one that
care.
nobody liked. Yeah,
I
the
don't-
one that
I don't
nobody liked.
care.
He was going to replace me with him.
I don't care
So-
what anyone did. He's not coming anywhere
strongly
near.
he
I would
feels
fucking
that
kill
Mercedes
cunt.
should lose. I think the first thing that will happen if Mercedes wins, which I would be all for, is that there will be mass tantrums
Yeah.
across the
Even if
likes
she-
of which
even
the
if
rest
she
of the
wins,
world
they'll
have never seen.
baby.
They will cry the Young Bucks a new lazy river.
So you know
It'll
what,
be
the match
amazing.
is already over. She won already.
What do you mean?
I
she's already creative.
She's decided.
Yeah.
If Mercedes decides she's going to win,
There's only going to
great.
be one Hogan alive at All In, and it ain't going to be Terry. It's going to be Mercedes Hogan. She's already fucking
Yeah.
apparently.
she's won.
It's just
She's
me and Moz
already-
against
Ain't it
the
weird,
world.
by the way? Before we carry on, ain't it fucking bizarre how she's the only one people seem to call fucking Hogan? When there's
It's
people,
not bizarre.
there's people who have like
Well,
had
it's
fucking.
because Jericho's not
called
on
Roman
TV.
Hogan.
Yeah, it's because Jericho's not on TV, so they need somebody
Roman's
to
not a
latch
black
onto.
woman.
No, so
It's
here-
all
Exactly, that's my point. Yeah,
So here's the thing. There's a for the past few years, it's not even just Mercedes. It's any woman, any female wrestler, any woman wrestler that just gets a semi push, gets a couple wins here or there. I've heard
Not in WWE.
not. No, yeah, outside Mercedes, but even in WWE, like
I don't know, even Charlotte's had it a little.
Charlotte Hogan, Becky Hogan, fucking Rhea Hogan,
Becky
even
Hogan's probably a
Julia.
thing.
Even Julia like has a couple of, now it's Julia fucking Hogan. It's just a bunch of, I think, weird fucking
Julia
loser
Hogan.
incels who just hate women and the progress that they're making in professional wrestling. So it's like we got to attach the Hogan tag to any female wrestler that's worth a damn in the business, no matter what promotion it is. I mean, like it's just so fucking weird, but
It's
yeah.
mad.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause
it's
They
very
cannot
true.
comprehend that a woman is earning anything.
pretty much.
She has to be throwing a tantrum and demanding it, or she has to be earning it on her back,
It's crazy.
or
Like,
on her knees, or however else they fucking think.
they won't accept that she's, in my opinion and a lot of other people's opinion, the best women's wrestler on the planet. Like, they just won't accept that at all. Like, they will not accept that in ring she surpasses everybody else. It's crazy. And like, they'll throw these tags around, won't they? Like, oh Hogan, she must be politicking. Can it not just be that she's the best? Like, no one called John Cena Hogan for fucking 15, 20 years. It's just fucking
They
nuts.
didn't, but she's not. But she's not the best. She's the second best, and I know what happens next
I know
if she
what
wins.
you're saying. That's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
That could be a good
That's
one.
a
Best wrestler in the
that's a
world. My
great shout.
favourite wrestler on the fucking planet.
That's
He's coming
so
to
great
AEW.
shout. That's
Alex
a fantastic shout.
Alex Windsor.
I debut
That's
as soon.
who's next.
I debut as soon, and because I just won that
If-
TBS title off for ASAP before. I don't think they're going to do it. No, I
Well,
think they're going to wait.
So to answer Moses' question, if Mercedes wins, I think there's a strong case that she's winning it, and this is when. Have you noticed, by the way, that there's some sort of subtle nods in the Tony Mercedes program where they're nodding to like the 7 deadly sins? Like, I'll explain this another time, but basically, it feels like that she is about to reach like gluttony, like the maximum amount of gluttony, where she's got like everything, and then it's kind of like she has to
Pride
lose
comes before the
everything.
fall.
Exactly, she has to lose everything. I think they've been telling some subtleties in these kinds of stories. It looks a bit.
She has been
cartoon.
eating at ringside.
Well, that's the
that's
thing.
sort of-
It's greed. There's envy. There's
come on,
we
she
haven't
im-
had the wrath yet.
She improved the steak.
We haven't
as well.
had that yet. We haven't had that
The
yet.
second
I think that's
steak was
coming
great.
all in.
Yeah.
The second steak looked a lot better.
I've got no comment.
We've had sloth though.
Oh,
We've had
yeah.
her being yeah.
Well, they've
Had
also
been
had
like, no,
lust.
I'm
they've
not
also had
bothering
lust
you.
when they've been licking each other and smelling each
So
other's hair.
when's the head
That
going to
is
turn up in a
true.
box?
Bit of sniffing.
Well, we'll see.
Whose
But
head's in the box?
Terry
Was it-
Bollea's head. The real
I was gonna
Hogan.
say. You wanted Hogan? I've got it. This is a Hogan for you.
Yeah.
I have creative control, bitch.
Fucking Medusa's
no,
head, that.
I-
Turn everyone to fucking stone.
I've just been playing God of War. He carries a head around.
Mhm.
That'd be good.
We've descended into chaos as expected. I think
Sorry.
it's because
But
it's
yeah,
half
man,
11. It's because
Mercedes
it's half.
wins. Alex Windsor turns up to challenge.
I would not be against that.
I would love. I would love that.
I would still rather
I
Jamie
would-
Hayter
I
got a
would-
title, but never mind.
I hope Jamie Hayter's all right, and hope she is able to make it to All In. Yeah, just obviously because it seems like she picked up a bit of a knock, but hopefully it's nothing serious. Yeah, I'd love if she wins it. I'd love to run it back. For like the next pay per view, maybe All Out or something.
Or
righto.
Athena maybe is the other.
So they've got to do something with Athena. This is
Is
crazy.
it
Like
as if-
they're essentially at risk, I think, of. I mean, just from the way I look at it, of Athena deciding maybe she won't stay when a contract does expire because she's starting up her own promotion at the moment. They asked her about all, and she said, "Look, I want to be on it. You know, I'm proud we did all the promotion and stuff, but I don't know." And it's like, unless she does know, and she's just saying that because she did say, "Oh, things can change."
unless she invades
Like,
or something.
surely they can't just sleep on Athena.
I hope not, because she's from Texas. Just have her
Well,
defend
and
the
she's
Ring of
fucking
Honor.
class.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like such a wasted opportunity to have her do all that press for the show, only to have her not on it. And yeah, it would be. I was convinced they would run that, like the Mercedes Athena match, and save it, or like run the rematch at All In. But from a business sense, it makes sense that they're doing like Mercedes Tony, because they're the two best and biggest in like the company like at the moment. But where Athena fits, I'd have her go against Tekla, because they had a little thing up against in the New Japan show, where like, what was it, Wrestle Dynasty, in like a fatal four-way. Tekla and Athena had like a little bit of beef.
Tekla cost Athena the match.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think run it back. Just it could take Tekla can take the loss, because she's got a few wins now.
I don't know if she can, because it'd be a first big match. I think it's too soon for her to
suppose-
take a loss.
We said that about Megan Bain, and she came out of it looking
She
good.
came out of it looking good, but
yeah,
not,
well,
not
that-
to the same level. But she is
Megan Bain's lost though. She was on top for the majority of that match, and it was a fucking small package out of nowhere, which is going with the Tony story. Like Megan Bain still has been essentially protected from day one. She hasn't took a pin in any of the tags. All that's been given to
That's
Penelope.
true.
Who is absolutely incredible.
She is. I think it like
Love Penelope.
when they do eventually do it. Hopefully they do the tags like tomorrow, out of nowhere randomly, because like we need that. To me, you need the tags, and you need to put the tag titles on them, because they should be shown to be unstoppable. And Penelope Ford is great as well. Anyway,
She is quality.
we're going all over
Anyway.
the place. Sorry.
Look, we are, but we have a question which I'll tag onto since we're talking about Mercedes, which is from Punish
Throw the
Bidoof.
questions in. Let's go.
What was the bigger win for Mercedes, the CMLL Women's Title or Mortos?
Mortos is it. I mean, respect to CMLL. I mean, listen. You bag the man that is half man, half beast, half lawyer. that math makes perfect sense right here.
Fucking Scott Steiner over there.
Yeah,
Here
that's baldy math right there. I mean, half man, half beast, half lawyer. I mean, and
Half amazing.
half amazing. There we go. I mean, Mortos is just winning right now. Like he's about to pass the bar. He's about to be a lawyer. And first off, Tony, if you're watching, there is a children's TV show in the waiting right there. Frank Mortos, attorney at Roar, and then you just have your guest spots with
That
with
was
Mark
my
Sterling.
fucking shtick, man. Remember, I got that went
Yeah.
fucking everywhere. That was one of my most popular fucking posts. I'd fucking.
I was
your
gonna
man
bring
fucking-
it around
Yeah.
to you.
No, yeah,
I
just say
wasn't
you had
bringing
Retrograde does some great fucking artwork as well when we were talking about it. Yeah, Sorry.
It's right there. Like, I mean, damn, you could do like you do like AEW shorts on their YouTube page, and it's just a 5-minute clip of Mortos and just in his office and just in front of a judge, just roars one time, case dismissed, he wins.
Yeah, in a comedy spot, they should do something where Mercedes is backstage and she's got Mortos as her lawyer, and he just wearing a suit, but he's got the mask on.
Up against Mark Sterling.
Up against Mark
like
Sterling, or
MJF
someone like
something.
that. Or someone like that.
amazing.
And then all his case is like, all right, defense, you may present your case, and he just roars like just at the jury. I think it'd be fucking quality.
Mark Sterling could react to that perfectly as well. He would.
Yeah.
He would,
It'd be brilliant. I want a weird noises competition between Mortos and Ricochet. I just want constant "Rawr, ah," and then Nick Jackson cacawing in the background. Okay, bring back Private Party. Isaiah Cassidy can be screaming. It'll be amazing. We'll release it as an album.
No, you know what? I think I have a better interaction that you could do the first one between Mercedes and Mortos. Like, let's say when Mercedes loses her first title, she thinks it's done by nefarious ways. Like, she's looking for representation. Mark Sterling will come around the corner offering his services, and then right behind Mercedes will be looking like over Sterling's shoulder, and sort of like, what are you looking at? And it's just Mortos right there, just like. Imagine like anime, like where the smoke is just coming out of the nose, like just like that, and Sterling just runs away. And
do you know what? I've just thought of a dream match for Mortos. Have him fucking against Rhino. Have man beast versus beast.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I
didn't-
want this more than anything now.
Yeah, you didn't deliver that very well, mate.
What do you mean?
You said I've thought of a great thing for Beast Mortals. Have him fucking against Rhino. I was like, no, that's not something I want to see.
We'll edit that in
Pay-per-view,
post.
Andy. Anything goes.
Anything goes. Anything's crazy.
Wow.
Well, on
Been
that
on
note.
Tumblr, Dan.
Well, on that note, I have another question. So
Let's have another question that isn't about.
let's turn the
So
page.
we spoke about a mark earlier. This is probably a question for Andy and myself. From Amplified Snark, what if Mark Goldbridge reviews AEW?
No.
One word answer: no.
Yeah, no.
I'd
I'd rather shoot myself, to be honest.
I'd rather drown. Is
I don't
MJ
know who that is either, Brett. Don't worry.
You don't need to know.
You're
He's
very
just-
lucky. You don't know any of these cunts. It's fantastic.
He's
Is this
all-
a Twitter person again?
Yeah, no,
he's-
I wish I'd never seen any of this shit from these people. Sorry, Dan. Go
Yeah,
on.
to be fair, I'd be better off having not like ever heard of them, but sadly they're there now. What is MJF? Is also from Amplified Snark. Is MJF much better than the Feds El Magador? I think that's a straight answer of yes. Especially considering MJF hasn't. I know he had like the little American gimmick, but at least he's not partnered with a nearly dead Terry partnering with a racist beer. Unlike that cunt over there in the Fed, but. Is there a way? Also, she asks: is there any way to watch CMLL versus AEW, Ring of Honor, and Fantastica Mania for CMLL's non-subscribers? You can try streaming. You can literally just try any of like the pirated sites. But honestly, just get the YouTube. Just pay. That's the thing.
I don't
was going to
comment
ask
on
you
pirate
lot.
material.
So I mean, I know here it's not. I think you have to pay for their highest tier.
So if you want to watch Fantastica Mania,
Yeah.
you have to pay for the highest tier.
$9.
But if you want to watch the CMLL versus AEW show from the other night, then you only have to pay for like the lowest tier, which for us it's about $6.99 or just over £7. But yeah, I think the Fantastica Mania it's on the higher tier because it's like a premium show or something like that. Serve in the Discord was saying something about that. But
Yeah, he was also saying.
what I'm tempted.
No, I was just saying he was also saying that what his method is
Yeah.
like between a group of like 4 or 5 of them, they have every subscription, and they just share.
So someone
And, like,
pays for a Triller, someone pays for Progress, or someone pays for RevPro, someone pays for CMLL. So you split it. But that's the thing. So I'll run this by you like tomorrow with the others. If you want me, because I've got the basic tier, I can upgrade to the higher tier so we can all like watch the show at different times, and then I can just downgrade again. I might do that actually. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. From Aaron. Another question from Aaron. Who says,
It better not be He better not be saying he wants Morgan Freeman to be a fucking wrestler again.
Is this about my balloons at TNT? I am going to ask people right now to pressure Andy to let me take, those blow up balloons you get
I
for
don't
birthday
fucking
parties.
care.
I want to take or want to. You said I couldn't.
No, I didn't. I just
wanna
said I
take-
said this would be encouraging Tom to fucking and Aaron to be off the tits even more. I don't fucking
This
care.
isn't that Aaron. This isn't that Aaron.
Oh,
it's
no,
not
it's
that
bad.
Aaron.
Oh, Aaron.
Yeah, so
Okay.
this is not piss at Aaron. This is Morgan Freeman would make a good wrestler, Aaron.
Oh, okay, that Aaron. But still, I want you all to pressure. And Mike has said no as well because he doesn't think I'll get them in the venue. I want massive blow up or 121 balloons for men like Derice, and I want us to be on the balcony boogieing with them.
Yeah.
At TNT.
You have to call.
So,
If you do that, you have to call
Peer
at
pressure.
least 3 people around you a pussy-hole, and you have to say it like he does.
I can
as
do
well.
I can do that.
I'm going to.
Do you know what we mean when we're saying? Do you know what we mean when we're saying pussy-hole, Brett? Do you know what we mean when we say that?
No.
So it's like it's kind of what we would consider a roadman. So think of like a very cheap gangster in the States who has like a very specific like language. A pussy hole, it basically means pussy hole, which essentially means pussy. So but it's only something that people from like East London tend to say. So yeah, if you ever want to confuse your brethren who someone's pissing you off, just call them a pussy hole.
I feel that could go very wrong very quick if I were to
Yeah,
to
don't call
also
someone that,
handle it,
bro.
because no, trust me,
Who's going to run the
No.
TikTok if you say that to someone?
I'm just encouraging violence here.
I'm gonna be
I
in the
like to
damn
live
emergency
dangerously.
room if I say that to anyone.
Speaking of
I think
violence, Morgan Freeman would not make a good wrestler. Anyway, what was his question?
His
Oh, yeah,
question.
I had a question.
He
That wasn't
did.
about-
He says, well, he has 2. When do you think Eddie is back? I assume he means Eddie Kingston and not Eddie Murphy.
You fucking Eddie Munster.
And Eddie Munster. I think Eddie's back around All In.
I
Again,
hope so. I really hope
I
so.
would love to see him, even if he doesn't do
When he
anything
returns
physical.
for All In now. Everyone's returning. Jack Perry,
Yeah.
Eddie, Jay
Yeah,
White,
yeah, why
Natalie,
not?
Sting, Brian Danielson.
Why the
Yeah.
fuck not?
And
Why
Kermit
the
the
fuck
Frog is
not?
coming to fight off the Death Riders.
And the other Sting as well. They're all coming.
all the Sting.
police.
Oh, when he's
Sting was
yeah.
for days.
Before he goes to Latitude Festival, like later on
Yeah,
this
they're
year.
all going to be there. It's the most overbooked
Sting's
event of
all
all
the way
time.
down. Yeah.
It's going to sting.
And he also.
I'm fighting off the Death Riders. Andy's got. Yeah, we're all going.
I'm going to go if I'm not going to Saudi Arabia. Aaron also says, should AEW do a Grand Slam UK? I mean, well, they're doing Forbidden Door this year, and then they're doing All In next year. So
I don't think
probably-
Grand Slam would work. Because, like, realistically, the only place you could do Grand Slam is Wimbledon, and the chance of that happening are less than CM Punk actually having morals and standing by
Why is
what
it
he said.
Wimbledon?
Oh, I just mean because, like, with the tennis scene, with them using Arthur Ashe, Wimbledon would be the go-to, and I just
I would
don't
assume
think.
they'd do it in Ireland, somewhere in Ireland.
Yeah,
They've not been in.
Well, they need to do a show. So they've done a show in Wales. They've done a show in Scotland, or are
Scotland.
doing a show in Scotland, and they probably
Yeah.
should. But
Oh, we'll
I
do
don't
Northern
think.
England.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
A run of Dynamite and collisions
Whitley Bay or
across.
something.
Well, a run of Dynamite and collisions across the country would be
Open the
fucking
door.
great. Like, do maybe a month of tapings like across the country. That'd be fucking excellent. Proper
Get the
European
van ready,
tour.
lads.
Just
Yeah.
do it, European. I think in a UK you could do it. In the UK you could do it in like the space of like a week to 10 days. But yeah, to fucking do. Maybe that's why he was in France. Maybe that was why.
Do
he
Grand
was...
Slam Europe, yeah, different
Yeah, do
ones.
Grand Slam Europe, but just do it in a neutral location.
Bob popping across, yeah.
Yeah,
France, Germany.
but not UK, not Grand Slam UK, because we're getting All In next year. We got Forbidden Door this year,
Yes, Grand
so
Slam
we don't
UK.
need.
I want another show.
All
Don't
in.
listen
I'm
to
happy
them.
with all in. But yeah,
No,
But,
I'm-
but what I mean
take
is,
two,
like
actually,
in the
I want
run
a
up,
winter show.
in the run up to All In, don't have Grand Slam, and then like
Oh,
the same week
no.
have All In.
Full Gear UK,
Come over in like
Revolution
January or
UK.
something.
We can fucking have them all.
all.
We can do all of it.
AEW UK. Yes, I will book it, Tony. Don't worry.
Oh, we're not. No, it's giving me NXT UK flashbacks, and I don't like that.
Tony, call me.
They
We'll
wouldn't.
discuss Beast Mortal's Attorney at Law. We get the animators and the writers from Harvey Birdman. It's gonna be a fucking hit, man.
Speaking of Mortos, we have still one of my favourite names from the Discord, the Beast Mortos.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a great
I follow
name.
him on Twitter. I
He's
think
But
it's amazing.
he's been
he
And
does.
Maxwell, Jacob Fried Rice, my two favourite
He's-
food
That's
themed
very
pun
good.
He's been
names.
supporting us for a lot since the start. Beast Mortal.
Yeah, I've got a
So
lot of
good.
time for Beast. He's
great.
one of my favourite people. But he does come through with some questionable takes, specifically about The Miz.
Oh yeah, no, fuck
and
this.
he's-
He's a dickhead. I don't like him. I've never liked this fella. His name's shit.
What did he say? You cut out. I missed that.
He said,
what's
"I
the
need
row
to know
about?
everybody's favorite Miz match," and I said the one where he's not wrestling.
Yeah, he's been pushing the Miz for a long. That should be an AEW. No,
I don't dislike the Miz. I think you're all mean to the Miz. He's
I
he's
just-
hosting Gladiators now. Come on.
I think he's dog shit.
Oh, but I just he does
Come on,
nothing
Miz.
for me at all. Like I
think. Go on.
No,
I think, considering everything that was up against him, considering the shit that he got put through when he got there, I respect him for everything he's managed to do.
Of course. I mean, I'm not saying
I
he's
don't know.
probably,
I think he's a better
he's not a
fucking
bad
wrestler than
person. I'm
Logan
not saying he's a
Paul.
bad person.
I
or
actually
anything.
I'll agree
I
with
just
that.
don't like him.
You're right there.
I actually have an answer.
Okay.
Because I was watching at the time. No Mercy 2016, him versus Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental title. The stipulation was like Ziggler was on a crazy losing streak. It was literally title for career. And there was a lot of talk that Ziggler might have been leaving around that time. So it was legit. It was a pretty good match. I'm not going to lie. It was a good match. And I will give Miz credit for this. Like his run from 2016, 2017 on the mic, cutting promos, he was mowing down everyone on the mic. And when I see everyone, he was mowing down the likes
That
of.
shows how low the bar was back
Well,
then.
no. I mean, he was in the ring with like
Still not
mowing
selling it
down
to me, Miz.
John Cena and Roman Reigns, like, and the crowd was generally behind him when he was a heel, but they turned him babyface. He was actually good for what they asked him to do. Like, he doesn't. I don't find him offensive where I see him on screen like, oh, it's the Miz. Like, I'm like, yeah, it's the Miz. Today, 2025, he does nothing for me, but listen, he created a nice little niche run for him. Like, he's a WWE guy through and through. He'll never, once his career's over in WWE, that's it. He's never going.
He'll just go to acting. He'll
Right,
just
Yeah, I
stick
mean,
to acting.
yeah.
I'll give that attempt at defending the Miz a 7.5. Brilliant. What was the next question?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've only got one more.
Sorry, Brett. You were really trying your best to make.
I'm
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
So, another one from Mose. He says, with Danielson being more included in Ring of Honor this week, I could see where he's using his love and juice to maybe jumpstarting the promotion. Well, I bloody hope not. Can he bring Ring of Honor out of the paywall and into the telecast?
Yeah,
I mean,
Telecast.
I
hope
hope
so.
I hope so.
I hope so.
The only man I've ever heard say telecast is until
It's
today
Tony
is
Schiavone. It's Tony Schiavone.
Yeah.
The only person I've ever heard.
I really hope I hope they can get a Ring of Honor TV deal because Ring of Honor is fantastic still, and like it gets slated by people who
is.
don't watch it, and it's like it's really good. Brian Danielson obviously has the passion for this, and like he's a wrestling guy, isn't he? You know, full through and through.
Yeah,
And
he
give him
and-
the keys.
And now I'd say
him
he's
it.
an AEW lifer because it
I
seems
do.
like
I
he's
think so.
really like
Yeah.
thriving here. Like even at the moment where he's not wrestling, he still like cares. Like he's still like in the weeds, if you like, with Tony and all the other
Yeah.
like the people higher up. He's effectively like, along with like maybe Shivani, like he's like Tony Khan's like next in line, like in
Yeah.
terms of like who he trusts and who so I,
Well, Tony Khan
absolutely
said if
give
anything
him-
ever happened to him, they were under instructions to hand the keys
To Bryan Danielson.
Danielson.
Yeah,
exactly.
Don't wait. Don't
Gift wrap
Don't wait
Ring
for,
of Honor for him.
Yeah, don't wait for that
Don't wait
to
for that
happen.
to
Give him the
happen.
keys now. Not to the entire thing,
Yeah.
just to Ring of Honor.
No, just to Ring of Honor. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely. I
Kind
think
of like
Danielson-
how Tony's dad gave him some of his inheritance now. No, his wording was apparently, look, I'd rather have them have it now than wait till
exactly.
they die.
Yeah, otherwise you pay tax.
Yeah.
Otherwise you pay tax on it.
So Tony,
Why
do
the
the
hell
same.
not?
Give the keys to Bryan Danielson now, rather than waiting till something's happened to you. You can all enjoy it.
Even though Tony's significantly younger than Brian.
Yeah, but he rides a lot of.
He lives dangerously.
Yeah, he's on a lot of boats. He
He's on a boat.
flies a lot. Yeah, I mean he's back and forth a lot of places. The odds. If I,
PK
Also-
driver.
if I was a
also,
fucking-
Fighting it at any moment.
he doesn't sleep either.
yeah, if I was an
Like that.
insurance salesman, I'd honestly I'd be giving Brian. Well, saying that he wrestles. Oh, I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know whose premiums will be higher.
I'd fucking insure Darby Allin before either of them too.
I wouldn't go that far. Fuck it hell. That's
No, I wouldn't
insanity.
either. That was a lie.
That is
Oh,
insanity.
For effect and attention.
Only for travel insurance, where they only cover like dangerous activities.
Yeah, you're only covering the fucking flight out.
Yeah, that's it. Right, last one, and it's just some quick fire ones
God, 'cause
from
I'm fucking
Jamildo.
tired, man.
Yeah, Jamildo. He says
Weak.
Omega or Okada to win at All In. I'm picking Omega.
Yeah,
Omega.
Kenny Omega.
It's always tempting for me to be contrary, but not this time.
No,
Omega.
Kenny's winning.
I have a feeling
Forbidden-
Okada's winning, but I want Kenny Omega to win.
I want Kenny.
Oh no,
Omega
I
to
don't
win.
mind who wins. Like want, I just think Omega.
Yeah, I mean, technically, Kenny's two for one up because they had the draw.
That's why.
Kenny's
That's why I
1-2.
think.
It's fine.
That's why I think Okada's winning.
So
She made the Okada. Now you've said that.
there is a case to be made for Okada winning, but I think Kenny. I think Hangman and Kenny with like.
Unless
The
Kenny
belts.
loses and that's how Ibushi comes back.
Or Kenny
I
loses.
forgot
that's how he
about
goes heel.
Ibushi. I forgot
You
about
forget-
Ibushi.
I never forget about Ibushi. I
Oh
think
my
about
God,
Kota Ibushi.
Mike
You
would-
only,
Mike-
you
Mike
only
would
forgot
kill
because
me.
you only forgot because Mike's not there.
Exactly, yeah, that's true. Speaking of Mike's favourites, he's asking, Jamildo, this is asking if Eddie versus Gabe is the route for Forbidden Door.
Please.
I'd like it, because I think
would
for
love
Forbidden
it.
Door, you got to have Gabe Kidd on the card. Because he's a New Japan guy, it's a New Japan co-promoted show, so why the fuck not? But I don't know if is Eddie going to be like fully ready in time? Is he back in the ring by then? That I don't know. I'd like it to happen, but I can't predict the future.
Yeah, I think so. I think if Eddie's back, then yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I think that's what you do. I think that's the match you go for Forbidden Door.
Good stuff.
Mhm.
Well, that's all the Discord questions. Yeah, thanks for sending them in again. We'll try and do it a bit earlier next time and make sure it's not last minute. But yeah, thanks for sending all those in. They were pretty good. But anything else before we wrap up? Because I need to get some sleep.
Same.
week.
No, just there's a lot of good shows coming up. I think we're going to a fair few of them, so it's going to be an exciting few months.
Yeah, well, we got RevPro. Well, I've got with Mark. We've got RevPro this weekend. Then next weekend there's Progress in Manchester. Then the week after that, there's obviously you're going to. Is it Infinite?
Yeah, Independence Day, Infinite Promotions.
Independence Day.
Yeah, they
And
announced
then there's
Rio
Eve.
today. So
Yes, I saw that. And then they got Eve the following Friday, which is on the 4th of July.
literally the day after
They-
that.
Going
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah, yeah. They've announced some other matches for
We've
that
got Progress
today.
before that. Obviously, that's
Progress is next weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's next week. All right, okay.
And then
then
we're going to Attack in Cardiff on the 13th. Oh shit, we're
I saw they announced
all in on the
Paul
12th.
London.
Yeah, I was going to
And
say like
they got Paul London on the show.
it is the day. It's the day after All In. They announced Danny Luna. It's like, yeah, brilliant. And they said we're announcing someone else. Then they announced Paul London out of nowhere. It's like, what the fuck is that?
It's
Where'd it come from?
crazy.
Wow.
He's doing a couple of other indie shows in the UK, so he must be.
Yeah, I've
just doing
seen
like a
North
little-
announced him as well. But the main
North,
reason I'm
yeah.
going to that show in Cardiff is because Drew Parker against Lycos for the first time.
Lycos.
So
Yeah,
lovely.
I think we have
Lycos
you to
Brett.
thank. We have you to thank for making.
yeah,
that happen,
it was
by the way.
my
Well
my
done.
suggestion that the
All your work.
the actual post of the match, you can trace the quote tweets back, and it's all from my suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got to be there for that.
I'll give you a list of what I want you to get booked.
It only
Next time,
it only works once, otherwise.
The indie genie.
Otherwise, look, if it worked every
Otherwise,
time,
the Outrunners would be holding all the belts.
exactly.
everywhere.
They'd be holding all the belts.
It only works on the indies.
Darwin would be a 7-time champion if that was the case, and not a 1 champion.
True. And then Brett is going to the big one, aren't
Yes, you
Yes.
are.
All in. We'll be watching at a reasonable time of
Yeah,
day.
it actually
Thank you,
airs
Tony
at
Khan. My
8
sleep
p.m. in
schedule
the
is
UK.
good.
Oh,
Thank
it's
God
fucking
for that.
incredible.
Thank God for that.
And
And it's on
I-
a Saturday night.
Lovely.
Yep, and I think I already said something in group chat, but if Hangman does not win, I'm jumping the fucking barrier. Like, you can't fucking do this. I will not. I refuse to be there.
He's winning.
Yeah, he's
If
fucking
Hangman
winning.
doesn't win, I need you to throw a rubber chicken, Brett.
I will
Please.
find a way to
For me.
sneak. I will find a way to sneak in a rubber chicken inside the stadium, and
No, I
will
want
get
Claudio to be the one to do it. Just so solemnly be like,
He's winning anyway. It doesn't matter.
He's winning. They're not ending that show without everyone going home really thrilled and happy.
And then at the end,
Everyone to be.
sorry, I was just saying. Then at the end of July, we've got they finally announced Man Like the Reese Tate Mayfairs for the TNT title,
TNT.
and
yeah. I'm so gutted I can't make that. I'm
Leonardo
really
Darwin.
So gutted.
are you not coming?
against Cocaine.
No, unfortunately, because and this is a true story. Basically, I'm playing a gig for the first time in about maybe 10 years. We're doing a.
You're gonna be shit
me
then,
and
mate. You're gonna be
Ian's-
rusty. It's pointless. Just come to TNT instead.
Yeah.
Honestly,
You haven't done it for
Suck
10
off your dreams.
Yeah,
they
honestly,
won't.
fuck
They
off.
won't. They won't listen. They the same people. They probably won't listen to this all the way through. But I'll tell them. I would much rather come to TNT. I'd be less depressed. Let's put it that way. But I've said yes, and if I bail out now, then I'd feel bad. But
I'll be there with my
Darwin and
balloons.
But
Cocaine.
I'll-
in that venue. Do you think he'd let me? Jay would let me
Yeah.
have balloons?
Yeah, well, the venue's going to
Can I
be.
bring all
the-
121 balloons.
Well, there's going to be fucking cocaine in the venue, so I don't know why he wouldn't want fucking balloons in there.
If you can have cocaine, I can have fucking all 121 balloons to brandish angrily at Tate Mayfair's.
As Darwin said, there's a cocaine problem in Liverpool. And then he
Which
announced
he's
his
gonna
match
fix.
against cocaine.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about all these cool events coming up in the future, these great matchups, but we didn't talk about the biggest one happening on July 12th, and it's not Hangman and Moxley. No. We're talking after All Night.
Oh,
We're talking,
no, we're not
Yes,
talking
we are.
this.
Yes, we are.
No,
No,
fuck
we're
off.
not.
I'm
Yes,
done.
we are. We are
I'm
talking
done now.
Saturday night main
No,
event.
No, stop recording. Stop recording.
Goldberg versus
Turn it
Gunther.
off. Turn it off. Go.